Welcome everyone to G4G Live, our post E3 edition. We did our pre E3 edition just last week. We are all back here again to talk about our impressions and how incredible this show has been so far. Pretty amazing. This is the last day, so it's all wrapping up. We're hearing the last little bits of news. Everybody's kind of gathered their thoughts and ready to go and ready to talk about this. I've got the panel with me here. Moxie, right on the screen at the moment. How you doing, Moxie?
Good. Really excited about E3. Can't wait to talk about it.
Awesome, awesome. I've got from last show as well. Easy is back. How you doing, Easy?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be here. It's been just an awesome week for gamers and everyone. Just all the news and still hyped and trying to come down from the hype of all the stuff we got revealed, and just excited to talk about it tonight.
Oh, I know, man. It's been crazy. And we've got Operation. How you doing?
Gears 5.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I gotta say, we're gonna save that for a little bit later, but definitely. And obviously, you guys have noticed with this live stream, we have a special presentation brought to you by the amazing graphic god. Jay Williams is here. He did that intro for us actually a while back, but we've been waiting to have like kind of a special occasion to show that as sort of a G4G Live meets Stranger Things. Obviously, it is incredible. It is nice. Jay, thank you. I just got to say thank you so much for doing this tonight with us. We love your presentations, as you heard, all kinds of praise in the pre-show that we all love what you do at MNC Mornings and what you do with Mooch and Crap. And thank you for being here and doing this special presentation with us tonight. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, and thank you very much for even including me. You know, this is quite an honor. I wish that I was actually part of E3 this year, but you know, maybe next year I'll save my loonies and my toonies. It's a Canadian joke for all you Canadians out there, and maybe we'll get out to E3 next year. But yeah, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be another great day of talking games and you know, getting down to business.
Definitely, definitely. That's what we're here to do. And we'll get right into the topics list because we are going live a little bit later than what we were, but it actually works out perfectly with what we have here. So we'll go straight into the first topic right away. We're going to save Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony for just a little bit later on. So we're going to talk about the publishers, what they had to offer, their shows. There was, you know, quite a few of those shows, just like usual, but they did feel to me just a little bit like they were kind of scaled back on some of the publishers. You guys give me your thoughts. We're going to start off with Easy. What's your take on the publishers, what they had to deliver, what you liked from each of them, and what your scores were?
All right, sweet. Yeah, this is when I'm trying not to ramble too much because I like so much in my head and just kind of going.
No, do it. Please feel free.
Yeah, I guess I'll just start because I was going to do an order of when they showed, but I was just going in order of like my favorite to least favorite. And I think this is probably almost the consensus among a lot of people. But to me, Bethesda was probably, you know, the best conference. And I know a lot of people seem to really enjoy them. But just from what I saw from them was just, it pretty much started off like nothing but like shooters or big shooters. We got to see Rage 2 off the bat. And that's one of those where I was like, it looked cool. The first one I didn't like as much. But after seeing this one where it kind of had like the Doom style gameplay. But, you know, just it was like awesome with just the world and everything. I'm thinking this is going to be like a super fun game. I'm excited about that. Kind of like the Mad Max kind of world where I'm like, okay, this is going to be freaking intense. And then, of course, it seemed like they had almost all the games I was kind of expecting and then more. Like I know with the Doom sequel coming out, I was like, that was awesome. And then with Wolfenstein 2 having that DLC kind of announced, or I don't know if it's like it could. I think it's probably how the Old Blood was and the New Order and the first one where they had the standalone game come out the year later. I don't know if it's kind of like that where it's just another game. But Wolfenstein 2 is one of my favorite games shooters last year, so that's awesome to hear. But a lot of great games, a lot of good shooters, and of course, you know, here's some about Elder Scrolls Online and a few other things. But I really want anything slow, so to speak. I mean, there's probably a little few parts, but I mean, pretty much all the games were enjoyable. And like the first half seemed to be mostly shooters. And then, of course, it got to Fallout 76, which is what everyone was kind of looking forward to, which I'm excited about. And I think and that's when, you know, Todd Howard came out and did a good deep dive of it. I think that really helped because it kind of, I guess, confirmed some of the rumors where people thought it was an online survival kind of game. And And I guess it kind of was ended up being when they say, "Oh, it's always online," and people are like, "Oh gosh, I'm iffy about it." But I think you kind of explained, kind of what it's used, soft core survival. That's a pretty good term.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of where you don't lose everything, but it sounded like really fun. And then after hearing about everything and seeing the demo, I thought, man, this is gonna be a super fun game. So, and luckily, I was able to get that collector's edition with the helmet, the power armor.
It's still available, though, right? Correct?
I am not sure. I ordered on Amazon,
so.
and the next day I saw it was not available anymore. So it probably sold out fast. That's why I got on it as soon as I heard, because I figured it'd be like that whole stinking with the one they did before Fallout 4. I was like, yeah, I'm not having that happen again. But yeah, I thought that was good. And of course, I mean, it's usually Bethesda. What I like about them, which same with Fallout, where they show a big game, reveal everything, and then it drop it that year. They did that. A lot of stuff they showed was coming this year of Fallout, and then early next year. They kind of did a little out of the ordinary at the very end, but I kind of liked it where they're like, let's just go ahead and throw in some of the teasers y'all been hearing and have Starfield and then Elder Scrolls 6 just showing at the end, made everyone go nuts. I'm like, awesome. It sucks to be years and years away, I'm sure, but I was like, at least they showed that they're working on Elder Scrolls 6. It will probably be next gen. They're Ogre and everything, but
that and
I was
Starfield,
excited.
Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think this Starfield was first, so I don't know. It could be one of those. We'll see that in a few years. Yeah, could be.
But I mean, with what they're looking to do, though, it's. I mean, that looks like it's going to be tough to run on current gen. I know they have really big ideas for that, so I'm thinking like maybe X and the Pro could do it, but I doubt I don't know if they want to go that route of making something exclusive to a certain console. They might end up pushing it till next gen.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably why they're wanting to wait for it, because it looks kind of ambitious. But I was like, it's just awesome to have it confirmed. So yeah, that conference is great. I was excited for like all lots over here. There's so many games I'm looking forward to. So I'm like, that's only once they downside. I was kind of sad. Like at least they announced Elder Scrolls 6. But I'm thinking this is going to be so many years away. But it's going to be amazing when it comes out. But yeah, Bethesda just in general, a great conference. I loved it. And then I think the second one that I enjoyed, the one below that, was Ubisoft. And that one almost surprised me a little bit, because there was that felt closer to Microsoft in terms of games, because there were so many games that they were just showing and announcing. I'm like, man, I'm having trouble keeping up with all the stuff they're showing. But I think the biggest, letdown for people, they're hoping for Splinter Cell, which I know I was too. I was still kind of shocked that we didn't get that at all this year from anyone. I'm like, man, is that coming at all? We were hoping for that last year. I know some people weren't, and even this year they didn't. But that's the one thing I would have loved to have seen. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, liked what I saw, and I think it's almost like they're really going more the RPG route, where I enjoyed Origins. I'm actually playing through that now more, got into that, so I'm really kind of going through that. But Odyssey felt like an extension of that, but it had that kind of BioWare feel too, where you had the choices, and it's almost like they're kind of making more RPG route. So that game looks really promising. And then of course Beyond Good and Evil 2, I'm excited to see that, but I'm kind of wondering like when that will actually officially come out, because it's been forever since that first game came out, and a lot of people have been excited about it, but it looks really promising from just what I saw. It's Skull and Bones, that's an interesting thing. That looked pretty good. I remember when it first came out, or they showed the first trailer, I'm like, yeah, this looks nice. It's just like Black Flag pirate combat, when people load about Black Flag. But and then I don't know, because some people were down like Sea of Thieves, but a lot of people love it, but it's a completely different game. But I think if they didn't like that, they maybe enjoy this more, because this seems to be purely ship combat.
It does look like
control the ship. Yeah. So like, hey, that maybe stretch the itch. But it's good to see another pirate game. It's just, I always said, want to see these came out. I thought that's a great idea, but there's no really big pirate games out since Black Flag. So at least you got that with Skull and Bones, and then a lot of others. And Trials Rising was interesting. I didn't expect that, but that was cool. Then of course, I did know some neat thing with Ubisoft. They're definitely the one publisher I think that's really behind Nintendo and the Switch, because most every other conference you didn't see a whole lot of, and you're wondering when games are coming. But you have Ubisoft kind of making. They made Mario and Rabbids, and then they had the whole Donkey Kong extension. The DLC kind of coming, and then you had that one game they're showing that has the Star Fox tie-in with Starlink. I'm like, that's cool. It's an exclusive character. So it is neat for Nintendo fans that Ubisoft is really kind of backing the Switch and actually doing stuff for them. So that's pretty cool.
And
so,
I gotta say, a lot of stuff. Easy. Like I said, I was a little bit down on some of the publishers, but hearing you recap it with your energy, you actually
sounds like it was really exciting.
Yeah, I actually really want to get every game you're talking about now.
I know, because when I saw, I wasn't expecting. There was like a few down parts. Of course, I know the very first I was like kind of cringe when they had Just Dance. So I'm like, what in the world are we doing? It seems every conference has to start off with a weird dance number and music thing. So it's just like, that was kind of odd. But at least they got that out of the way. And then they had like high note, and it went low. So I think there were some weird cringe moments sometimes at Ubisoft. That's why I had them lower than Bethesda, because it was some weird moments. But there were a lot. I mean, they had so many games. And I'm just like, and that Transference game, that was one that kind of was interesting. And it's VR, and I'm not really big into VR, but that had promise, and that's kind of neat. Seeing Elijah Wood and Gordon, was it? Yeah. Gordon Levitt, or like I'm like, wow, seeing these like big celebrities that happen to be working with
They're definitely trying to expand what they have to offer beyond just games. You can see
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing was Beyond Good and Evil too. That had an interesting thing. I don't know how people felt about that, but kind of like having the community wanting to kind of pitch in, like was it music using that, what they came up on stage to talk about. I'm like, that's an interesting little concept, kind of having where the users can kind of create content that can kind of go in the game, which I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
And they did say behind the scenes that I believe it was Gordon Levitt that said that they had paid out $3 million so far to content creators, so they want to be able to expand that and do more with that. So that's cool.
Exactly. So that's pretty awesome. And then of course, Division 2, which usually, of course, we'll probably go more about that Xbox, because that looked awesome when they showed an Xbox stage in this one. But overall, I was like, man, I think it's a pretty solid conference. I know some even rated that like above Bethesda. I think it depends what games you like, but to me, Ubisoft had like a good bit of variety and like a lot of games come at you. Where Bethesda, I love the games they showed. They had close release dates. Were a couple surprises, but those are definitely. I think most people would say those are top publishers by far. And then, of course, below that was almost near the bottom of everyone's list was EA and Square. But I think EA I probably liked a little bit more, but I think mostly it's just because a couple of games I was wanting, with Battlefield and then Anthem. They had a nice look on that, and they look good. I mean, Anthem, I'm excited about that. Seeing about that, I know some people felt a little more downgraded from before. I have to kind of watch it again.
What did you hear about that? I didn't hear that.
I think maybe the graphics, possibly. It is, and that's what you always expect. They're going to show insane at first, maybe because it's in-game engine, but more, cinematics, and then they actually show the gameplay. But me, it looked fun. But a lot of people said too, it's probably, it's like too much like Destiny. But I'm like, that's what I think people thought of at first, was it was like EA's answer to Destiny, but you're in mechs and kind of, doing different stuff. But I mean, to me, that's the game I have on my radar, and I think it's pretty good with the infamous February 22nd date, where every game in the world wants to come out that day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's kind of, I was joking with someone like, be perfect if Kingdom Hearts was just delayed in a month and that come out, February 22nd. And then the ultimate troll will be Red Dead Redemption 2. They delay it again.
That day? They would do that too.
People would freak out. That was like just the chaos that was due for people. But I digress. But I mean, it has some good stuff. I feel like I didn't do ratings, but I kind of gave Bethesda. I gave them like an 8 out of 10. I think they're really good. I could even go 8.5. I'm just doing even. I gave them an 8. I think I gave Ubisoft a 7. They're pretty solid. And I think I gave EA a 5. Could possibly 5, like almost a 6, but I mean,
that's all right.
Just gotta give them a 5. Yeah, it's not good. But then, of course, they had like ups and downs. Like, but to me, I wasn't as down on them as most people, because I mean, you have to show Madden and FIFA. That's their big franchises, so you gotta show that every year. I don't think they showed it as much as before, which kind of helped. And I even kind of like the Battlefront 2 thing. I mean, I'm not big into that, but it's almost like they're really trying to make up for, hey, I think that's a deposit. They're kind of realizing for some reason now that, hey, people don't like the whole progression system microtransactions, so they're wanting to kind of go back on that. So they're like with Anthem, none of that stuff is going to go in there. So made people excited, but I think it's like I said, it's pretty good. But then of course Square, they're I mean, there's a couple of decent games on there, but like most people are saying, I don't know why they even felt like having a show, because half of what they showed is on Microsoft stage, and then I think the other half are Sony exclusive games that I think they could have shown on Sony's and made that show a little bit better, and just not even worry about it, because only 30 minutes. I'm like, felt pointless. I gave it like a 4, and I think that was maybe generous, just because there's some good games. But yeah. So it was like 2 great conferences from 2 publisher conferences are great, and then 2 that were just like, could have been better. But it's kind of my thoughts.
That's good. That's good. Definitely. Operation. How do you feel?
Good Lord, how do I follow that?
So I told you I didn't want to talk too much, but I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Okay, well, jeez, where do I begin? Bethesda, I give them like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Fallout 76, like I love Fallout 4, and I feel like 76 like the perfect evolution of taking it serious in the right direction. Of course, there are hardcore Fallout fans who don't like the addition of multiplayer in this aspect. I personally see a problem with it. It's an option as well. I believe they said you can play offline by yourself as well, or just playing single player. I don't remember which one you say exactly, but there's the choice is there for you. Be able to like nuke other people in the world. Like, come on, man. Like, this is a post-apocalyptic game. Who doesn't want to do that in the world? But yeah, what else they show there? Doom Eternal looks great. Elder Scrolls 6, I never cared for Elder Scrolls. What else they show? Starfield, they show nothing. That pretty much all it shows that exists. So that's pretty much what we're giving with it. I look forward to seeing that more. And the new Wolfenstein 2 spin-off they're doing with this $2, I believe, right? It's $20.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks cool as well. Sad thing I never played the new Colossus because I had to make a decision between that Assassin's Creed Origins. So of course I picked Origins. So I had to make my way back and go buy it. As far as Square Enix, I didn't see it. But based on what y'all have been saying, it probably shouldn't have existed in the first place, or just got assimilated into Sony's E3. But yes, I'll leave that alone. Nintendo's, I'm trying to finish it. I didn't have a chance to finish it. PC gaming, I didn't see it at all.
Well, if you made it to Smash Brothers, then you're at the end of Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I did see Ubisoft. I give them a good. I saw a 7.5 out of 10. You know, their new pirate game coming out, Skull and Bones, looks amazing.
Yes.
Like, they pretty much like Black Flag, like cut out the majority of single player out. Just is left with that. Like a shit combat upgrading system. There's a little bit that they show and looks very in depth. It looks like a lot of fun to dive into. The Division 2 looks amazing. I was a big fan of the first one. Yeah, you know, they had issues and whatnot. This is like the right steps, and they're taking the right necessary steps and actually make the right adjustments to this game. I'm especially excited for different classes you can choose now. It's like the sniper, the demolition, and it was some other skill I can't remember. Basically, you get like a sniper, like a grenade launcher. You press expertise in explosives, and like a crossbow, I believe, or bow and arrow. I forget, but I think that's like 3 classes to run with in Division 2, so that was great. What else they showed? Starfield? No, that's Starlink, was it? That new toy game you play with peripherals, I think.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like hot trash until they show Fox at the end. I was like, I might buy this now. I actually might consider picking it up.
Yeah, it was Starlink. Starfield was the Bethesda game. Starlink,
It's too many Star-related games now.
There were a lot of those. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I might buy that. Rayman's Legend and Donkey Kong expansion. Rayman looked like a pretty cool game. When they first showed it off, I just never had time to get it. I don't have a Switch either. But adding Donkey Kong, I'll have more incentive to buy it now. Just Dance, never cared for that series. Trials, never cared for him at all. That little stunt they pulled was hilarious. Just from how cringy it was on stage. I don't remember anything else from Ubisoft, but like it was pretty enjoyable. It has some cringe moments as always. It's probably just me, but I feel like their humor is very forced in their presentations.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know who in the hell they're talking to about that, but just need to cut all that out and they'll just be just fine.
Yeah, I think so many awkward moments like that with those publishers.
Yes, the guy on the motorcycle running in and breaking it for Charles. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks great. I love Origins. It had issues like the side quests. Most of them
it's a full-on RPG now, it seems.
Yes, I'm loving that as well. I hope they do improve some of their side quests because some of them actually did like, but a couple other ones are just a bunch of fetch quests. Like you pick up this dude, take him outside a fortress, drop him on the ground, that's it. I'm like, come on, y'all. Well, y'all could have done better, but this looks like a good improvement. So hoping for the best with this. What else they show there? Transference, like it was a VR game, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't care about VR. Crew 2 looks cool. I'm not really that big into racers. Even they did show Horizon 4 Microsoft stage. I'm just still kind of offensive still, even though it did look amazing. But yeah, that's all I can remember from Ubisoft show because we're only talking about the third parties right now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, Bethesda and Ubisoft, I like them both the most out of all of them. But yeah, I think I pass on to the next panel member. Oh my god!
Yeah, sure.
I almost forgot Tomb Raider. How can I forget Tomb Raider?
Yeah, well,
that was Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, we can talk about it then. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll leave it alone for there.
Yeah, definitely. Jay, I know you've been very busy, but what did you get to see, and what did you think of all the other publishers?
Well, I didn't get to see everything, but thank God Moxie typed all this in the chat because now I can actually scroll through it and go and give my impressions on what I did see and what I didn't see. For people who don't know me, I don't even own a Switch or a PS4. I only own an Xbox, and I own a lot of old consoles because I do a lot of retro gaming. But to go down this list, I'll kind of talk on a few things. For instance, Fallout 76. the only reason that even appeals to me now is because I never played Fallout 4. I had downloaded it on Game Pass, and I played it for 2 hours one night nonstop.
Yes.
So I know I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm into it now, and I think I'm going to be really into Fallout 76. Doom Eternal, I love Doom 1. It was amazing reboot. Love that game. Can't wait for Doom Eternal. Elder Scrolls, you know, I never finished Skyrim, so I'll never finish Elder Scrolls 6, whatever that's going to be. Starfield, not interested. Rage 2 looks really interesting. I'm big into these post-apocalyptic type settings, so that looks really cool. Jumping down to EA, of course Anthem looks good because everyone wants to play the Destiny killer. I played Destiny, and I finished the campaign, and I finished it with people, and I had fun with it, but it's not something I want to go back to. And I think Anthem's going to be, going to scratch that itch for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That Origin Premier Service, I don't need another subscription, and I have enough games and I have enough backlog. It's a great idea, but I can't finish the games I've got. Like today, I bought that Castlevania clone that Boom posted on Twitter. As soon as he posted it and I saw the gameplay, I went and bought it. It was like $10. The other day I bought. It's like an old Castlevania-ish type game. It looks like Castlevania. It's like 16-bit or 8-bit looking, and it's got that Castlevania vibe to it. I can't remember what the name of it is. Blood something. But I bought that because I'm going to play that soon. I bought the Arkham the Arkham Return to Arkham the other day. It was on for $15.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely.
I still haven't finished. Jeez, I buy so many games. It's terrible. My wife wonders where all my money's gone. This is all my PayPal money, right? All the money that I make from creating avatars. I'm spending it on. I know my wife thinks I should probably be saving it and saving it for my kids' college funds or something. But no, it goes to Jay's gaming addiction. Sorry.
Real quick, Jay, the game you're referring to is Bloodstained Curse.
Yes, that's it. So I'm gonna play that probably a little bit tonight before I go to bed. Not into Madden. Never played Madden. Not into Battlefield. Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think I even saw the commercial for that. I might not have even caught that one. All those Star Wars games, they all kind of blend together in my head. Unravel 2. I played Unravel 1 for maybe an hour. That's as far as it went. Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks interesting. I'm still playing Origins, and I'm enjoying it. Here. But it's going to take me a little while to get through that one. Beyond Good and Evil, I never played the original, but it looks really interesting. From what I hear, there's a lot to do in this game. Like, they said that this will probably not be a this-gen game. It's probably going to be a next-gen game because of its scope. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing that. Division 2, love Division 1. Definitely going to get Division 2. Skull and Bones, more pirates. Is more pirates better than no pirates? Sure. I play Sea of Thieves occasionally. I'm not big into it. Not that I don't like it, but you want to play with friends, and it's hard to always find someone who wants to play it with you. So, and I rarely go out on the boat by myself.
You should play with Moxie and I. We're gonna get to do a get together on a Saturday here pretty soon. We can definitely.
Yeah, no, seriously. If I see you guys online, if it's a Saturday night and I'm doing nothing, which is rare, because Saturdays are crazy because I'm getting ready for M&C. And I spend a lot of time editing on Saturday night, but for sure. Like, I'd love to have some dedicated people to play that with because I do enjoy it quite a bit. For Honor, I played the demo. I enjoyed it, but I found the controls a little bit hard to play. I don't know. I didn't give it that big of a chance, but I'm really impressed with the style of it and the character models and the animation. The fighting animations are really awesome. I know I'm just going down the list, but I think that everyone's going to do this. Trials Rising, I don't think I saw that. Mario and Rabbids, I saw the original. Looks fun, but I don't own a Switch. I guess is that coming only for Switch, or is that going to be multi-platform?
I believe just Switch.
Yeah, it's only Switch.
So I don't own a Switch, so I probably won't play that. But like I was saying to Avers before the show, that I am considering a second console, and if I do get a second console, it'll definitely be a Switch, and not because I want to play games on the go. It's because I have, I have an affiliation with Nintendo from being a kid. It was my probably the first game console. Well, no, Atari probably first, but the first one that I really got into. So I definitely want to play some of those
Spider-Man
games.
looks so good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The only
yeah.
game over I'm considering, but I'll save that for later.
Yes, Spider-Man looks good, but
Not worth the console.
I found watching that demo that they the game does a lot for you, meaning
There are segments like that.
yeah, there's okay, I understand when you're playing the Batman games, there's a little bit of fluidity during the battles where you punch one guy and you zip over to another guy and start fighting him. It just seems with Spider-Man, because of all of his actions, that the game is going to be playing for me more than I'm playing. Sure, I'll hit X a bunch of times to punch somebody, and then my Spidey sense will go off just like my bat thing, and then I'll hit my whatever buttons on the top of a PlayStation controller, and then he'll probably just do a fancy animation. Okay. But I mean, I've played lots of Spider-Man games in the past, and I've enjoyed some, and most of them are trash. So I'm hoping it's good.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, you're not wrong.
No, I'm hoping it's good.
Not wrong.
Where are we at now? Star Fox, that's Nintendo. Don't have that yet. Transference, which basically looks like Quantum Break 2. I'm all in for that because I loved Quantum Break 1. So, if I have the chance to play that, is that
are you talking about Control?
Exclusive? Oh, sorry, Transference. Oh, I'm looking at, yeah, I'm wrong. The VR horror. Yeah, I don't have VR, so that doesn't even, doesn't do anything for me. Crew 2, I've got enough racing games.
Yeah, that's true. But Crew's good, though.
Forza's my game. I play Forza quite a bit, so Just Dance.
What they've shown.
If my kids were a couple years younger, I'd be considering getting Just Dance 2019. But they used to play Just Dance all the time when their friends would come over. But now they're teenagers, and they don't even turn on the Xbox barely. One of my daughters plays Fortnite, but the other one doesn't even look at it.
Oh, you are a strong father. Just Dance religiously? I couldn't do it, man.
No, seriously, we've got every Just Dance, every one of them, right up until now, and DLC. Oh yeah, tons of it. So Nintendo Direct, yeah. I mean, all that looks good if I had Nintendo, but unfortunately, I don't. So let's jump. Are we going down any further? Is that as far as we're going? Oh yeah, we're going to stay there.
Yeah, we're just on the publishers for now.
Yeah. Okay. No, but other than that, from what I saw, I was impressed. Most of the conferences I kind of fast forwarded through, i.e. Sony.
We all did.
Yeah. But to me it was a good E3, so I'm looking forward to hearing what other people have to say.
Boxy, you gotta talk me off the sledge here, because after hearing everyone mention all these games that we've got coming, Jay is right. I mean, our pockets bank accounts are going to hurt the most after these next. What is it? The year and a half is about what they've shown out at this particular.
Guys,
a couple of things Bethesda said.
Fucking place after this, man, is going down.
Yeah,
a lot of February, a lot of September and October. That's for sure.
Yes, yeah. A couple things Bethesda said are a little bit further out, but for the most part, there's a lot of games coming here pretty soon. Moxie, what is your impression of E3? What were you thinking? You and I we're always live messaging each other back and forth, and I got to hear some of what you had to say about Sony. I didn't get to hear about anything else of what you had to say about anyone else. So what are your takes?
So, you said at the beginning when Easy was making it sound like the publisher conferences were really exciting, because I know that you and I both were kind of not excited about them. And it's somebody mentioned what it is. There's this weird, I said it last week because PlayStation did that whole, we're going to announce a game a day up to E3. And I said on our last show, our pre-E3 show, I was like, oh, they're trying to take the thunder out of E3 by making it more of just a week of announcements instead of the show, which we'll talk about Sony later and why that ended up being the case. But it's they're putting this weird focus on the people that come out to the stage and talk, just the publishers, not talking about Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. And it gave it like this awkwardness. It gave it an awkward humor. I think it was Dealey's in chat that said that. And it took from the trailers. So Easy just like listed the trailers and I was like, whoa, all those games. But it was, at the time I was watching it, I guess I was distracted by all the weird stage talk to where it didn't seem as exciting. Obviously, I'm excited for Fallout 76. Avers brought me a t-shirt for Fallout. I don't know if this is a Fallout 76 t-shirt, but I know it's pretty sweet. That's going to be like really exciting because I just got into...
Oh, it's like a Funko Pop.
It's like a little, it does. It's like a little cartoon guy in a power armor. It's pretty awesome.
I'll pay you.
So I'm excited for that because I just got wrapped up in Fallout 4.
I will pay you for that shirt, Boxy. I am not joking.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that.
What else? So Fallout 76 was exciting. Anthem's still exciting. I didn't notice the downgrade thing. I would have to look at the footage a little bit more, but it looked really good to me.
Wait, for which game?
Beyond Good and Evil 2 looked good. Assassin's Creed looked good. Skull and Bones looked good, which is interesting because it's totally different than Sea of Thieves mechanics-wise. So, like, when they first announced the two of them, they seemed kind of similar, except the graphics weren't the same, and it seems like the whole mechanic is actually completely different. Like, there's no sinking and then fixing the ship type thing. It's like killing a character in a video game. Like, they have a life bar. And whenever you hit the last little piece of the life bar, the ship is sunk. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I just feel like in general, every year they get a little bit less excited about E3 and they put a little bit more emphasis on the small talk type stuff and less emphasis on the trailers and the games. And I really noticed that in the publishers this year. I felt like everybody but Microsoft had a really low key E3, like intentionally so. But there is a lot of games coming and I'm definitely excited for a lot of these things. I didn't list off everything I'm excited for. I just got a better impression from some of the other conferences maybe than the publisher conferences.
No, that's definitely what my take was as well. It feels like they're scaling back and trying to do their own smaller thing. Am I wrong to say that? It feels like the audience is smaller in a lot of those publisher shows. Whereas they used to be like
they're just less exciting. They don't make a big show of it. They're like making jokes on stage, and they were bringing out like every dev instead of just doing like pretty fast consecutive trailers. They were talking about it. There were some things that were small, like some of the Battlefront content. They were talking about that like it was a massive new IP, and it was like one of their really small details. So it just felt like all the times and focuses were shifted to where it didn't seem as exciting until Easy's like, here, let me just list off all this exciting stuff. And you're like, whoa, they packed all that into that awkward conference? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I think it dinged at some scores because, it was good. But like I said, it started off weird, like with the L already with that dancing and then the guy on the bike. And it's just like, it's weird. Like the flow was off. So like the games were good. Then you're like, oh, this is a pretty good game. And then it'll be. I saw some random people on Twitter gave it like they actually like some of the like developers where it's like you got this developer and they're kind of awkward on stage, but hey, they're talking about what they love, and I know some people like.
I do like seeing that. Yes,
yeah.
And what was it? The Beyond Good and Evil. I remember there was like the little tidbit on the mic when they didn't cut the mic off. He said, "We nailed it," or something. They're like showed their excitement when they're walking off. I was like, that's cool to see. Like they were like. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. They were really excited, and kind of captured that honest moment. But yeah, that's kind of neat to see that. But I know at the same time, like with Microsoft, which we'll go into in a second, about the constant flow of stuff. A lot of people like seeing that where you stop all the time with devs talking and going into detail. Then if it's not a game you're interested in, you're like, okay, when it's just wrapping up. But then I guess if you do like it, then so it depends. But yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was kind of iffy. It could have been better, but yeah, the games themselves, I was actually. Pretty excited. I had a good variety, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You're really good at focusing on the actual games. So the things that we're, as Jay mentioned, that we're all spending all this money on. So that's really important to keep that separate from understanding that the presentation or maybe the quality of what they're delivering presentation wise is going to go down as they're trying to save money and figure out ways to do that. And then also elongate the time so they can fill up an hour, hour and a half, some of them as much as 2 hours, but also not as many games as games budgets increase over time. So that's really good. I'm glad you're reminding me of that. You're getting me hyped about pretty much everything that's coming from all the publishers. We had a little bit in the chat where people were kind of jumping ahead, going to some of the games that we're going to talk about from Sony and Microsoft. So let's speed that up a bit. We'll go to the next part. So try to keep it a little bit brief, I think, because Nintendo kept it a little bit brief. What was your take? Let's start again with you, Easy. Nintendo, I know you're a big fan, and you were texting me in the group chat about it. So how did you feel about their Direct?
Yeah, I definitely felt like more positive than I think most people. I'm not even like a big Nintendo fan. I've got all the systems. I like it. And I was kind of, I guess, wasn't sure what to expect, except maybe a few games. But I just figured, I mean, I liked it in general. Overall, they're definitely, I think the biggest downsides were games people were hoping to see. Like, I was hoping to see some Metroid Prime 4, which may be years away, because I know they just showed that last year, that one screenshot. It's like, oh, it's coming, but it's probably a while away. Yeah. So, I mean, neat. I know Animal Crossing is a big one that people wanted. And to me, like, the big positives for me was Smash Bros. I know that's probably the big game people were wanting, and they did a huge deep dive in that, almost too much probably. But, I mean, it's like just seeing the 64-plus characters, just how many characters they have, and all the stuff from the past be the biggest game yet. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. I actually ended up pre-ordering that one after that. I'm like, because I definitely have fewer Switch games than any other console, so I really want to get more. I think I had like 3 or 4 really, but I want to get more. And after seeing the show, I'm like, yeah, I mean, the Pokemon game and the Smash Bros. Will definitely be huge sellers. I mean, that's the one good thing. Nintendo has some big franchises, and Fire Emblem game actually looked good. There's actually several good ones, but I dinged it after thinking about them. Of course, it was kind of short. They definitely could have had, like I said, more games. But the biggest positives for me were the release dates. It's like, I didn't know about Mario Party. I was like, oh, Super Mario Party, that'd be a good one. It actually looked really cool how they did it, and it's coming this year. And then they showed Smash Bros. Having December date. It's like, man, you're getting these big IPs from them. They're revealing it, and they're coming out later this year. So, I mean, that's big. And then, of course, I'm not a big Fortnite fan, but, I mean, that's a massive thing, talking about Fortnite coming that day in the crossplay. And, of course, that's probably – we're talking about that with the whole crossplay situation with the other company. But, that's good stuff there. But, yeah, I mean, it was a good conference in general. Actually, I think I gave like a 7, which I know is probably a lot higher than most people. I was trying to think about what people in general would like. I mean, I actually maybe like enjoy some of the games, even though I'm not a like big in Nintendo as others. But I'm kind of like, oh, there's actually some games I think about getting, and thinking about other people may like it. But I definitely can see why people didn't like it. I know a lot of people thought it was a terrible show because they didn't have a lot. But I mean, I think it just depends on what games you like. Some people probably thought they won E3 just because of Smash Brothers, but I don't ever go that far. One game never determines, But yeah, I thought Nintendo was, pretty good.
That is kind of funny when people will say that one game, one publisher or a platform holders E3 for them. How do you get to that point? I understand that you're very hyped about it, but you got to look at it as a whole rather than just one game. So you're definitely right about that, Easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's so many good games. I love it. I mean, yeah, I never got that. I think because I play so many games, I'm interested in so many. Even though maybe one game I'm really looking forward to. That's like I said with Metro Prime, a lot of people probably wanted to see that Animal Crossing, and then the show is a fail because you didn't see that. Like Ubisoft could have been terrible because you only wanted to see Splinter Cell, and even though they showed all these games, they didn't show that. And it's like, well, that's just. I think it's how E3 is and why it's so different for every individual. But I think in general, yeah, I'm being a little more positive. I think the most. But Nintendo, I thought it was a decent show. I mean, I think going in not expecting much because Nintendo is just kind of like that. They were similar to Square in the whole. No live press conference. They're just, talking. Here's the games, discussing it. But from what I saw, I was like, I'm actually excited about it. There's actually 3 or 4 games I was thinking about picking up. And then I think the only surprise that Damon X Machina, whatever, it looked interesting. It was interesting to see more about that. But everything else, I was like, okay. Wasn't a whole lot, but it was decent. Definitely could have been more games, though.
Mm-hmm. And Jay, Operation Moxie, if you guys want to jump in and get in on that, go ahead.
I can jump in real quick because like I said before, I didn't get a chance to finish the whole press conference, and it's funny. Based off what I've seen, I actually stopped right before they revealed Smash during the show. So for me, Fortnite, trash. Crossplay is actually pretty cool. But Fire Emblem looks pretty interesting. I always had interest in Fire Emblem games, but never had a chance to play them. Damon X Machina looks pretty cool from what they showed me. I actually really want to try that out. I haven't got a Switch yet, but I really do want to get one this year, probably in the fall when we got sales going on, because there are games that they haven't wanted to try out. But for a present, for Nintendo's E3, based on what I've seen, 6 out of 10, really, for me.
It just, to me, it just felt like they're just doing another Nintendo Direct as if E3 is not really going on. They're just
pretty much.
Yeah, that's how they always are. So that's
they're
not
really
like
in their own world right now.
Mm-hmm. Just like them releasing game, like we're not afraid of Red Dead Redemption. We're gonna release all their exclusives, in this fall. But hey, they'll sell big though. I still think so.
And granted, I am a big Smash fan, but like I like to focus on more games. Like Metro Prime, we know those years out. They showed the trailer, the name of it last year, so we know we're not going to see it
last year. You can give us a CG trailer at least this year, right? I mean,
they'll probably show Sam standing in like their ship, and that's it. If they were going to do CG, but yeah. As far as Smash Bros, I've been keep up all the news. They say everyone's here, but Waluigi's not there. I'm trying to feel like, you can't run when everybody's here. You leave our boy Waluigi, but. Yeah, that's something like Smash Hardcore.
But was he ever a part of it though?
Oh yeah. He definitely was a part of it. He was there.
They say they're having every single character.
Yeah, Waluigi was in Brawl. I believe he was in the one on the Wii U as well. Because I played with my friends before. It's been so long I don't remember. I do believe Waluigi was there in Brawl as well, in Brawl and on Wii U. So him not being Ultimate, I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's aware. They're just trolling the internet around. They're going to reveal him later.
Yeah, DLC probably
exactly, because there's a picture of Mario in like a Waluigi costume. So like, they really know what they're doing right now. They're doing this intentionally. But yeah, it's just been wild with Smash right now.
And Jay, Moxie, before we move on to the big stuff, do you guys have anything you'd like to throw in on Nintendo?
I wasn't expecting much, and it wasn't much. That's about it.
Yeah. I didn't get to catch the whole thing. I think I was jumping back and forth between different things, and I got to catch some of the Smash Brothers thing. And I think the big takeaway for the Smash Brothers is that they're putting every player in it, like 60 some. Yeah. So if that impresses people that play Smash Brothers, then good on them. I've never played Smash Brothers. I think I've watched it being played. But, I think nobody expects a whole lot from Nintendo every year anyway, so I don't think it was a huge surprise to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. So with that, we'll get to the two big ones. We have, first up, Microsoft's conference. Okay, so I'll give just a little bit of my impression before we go to whoever wants to go in on this one first.
Because you were there.
Because I was actually there in the stadium, the auditorium, whatever you want to call it. It's Microsoft Theater. Yeah. Incredible. Whatever that screen is, I want that screen in my house because games looked better than I have ever seen. The way Halo Infinite looked when they opened the show with that. By the way, when you go back and you watch the show again, if you watch it in 4K, which I recommend everyone do so you can see how great that game looked, how amazing Gears looked, everything. They mute or they take out the sound of the crowd somehow. So you hear the crowd a little bit when the camera's panning around. When you see like the camera moving and they're showing the stage and the little monitors they have, you'll hear the crowd. But that's not how it sounded in the room. Whenever people erupted, you could feel it. You could actually feel like the bass of people's cheer through the floor and in the seat if you were sitting down at that moment. And it was incredible when Halo erupted. Jump Force was a big one for some reason. The section I was in, I was like with all the anime kids for whatever reason because they went insane for Jump Force. But I could tell that the rest of the theater wasn't cheering at that level for whatever reason. Several other things. Gears was big. This maybe it was just because I was there and I was feeling the hype of everything. But it really felt like Microsoft nailed their presentation, nailed every aspect of what you would always think of E3 every year when you think about like this is supposed to be a big deal. And they really did do it. It was over 100 minutes. It flew by. It seemed like 50 minutes. I kept checking my phone going, oh my gosh, it's over already. It was pretty incredible. If you can ever make it out there to that type of thing, I do recommend getting there to be able to see that in person if you can. It was very, very impressive. And like I said, whoever wants to go in, jump in on Microsoft's performance, all their games. 50 games, 18 exclusives, 15 world premieres. What do you guys think?
It seems like from what you described that Microsoft's pulling LeBron James, just carrying E3 on their back at this point.
Yes. That's the only ones that had the E3 presentation this year. The publishers didn't, Sony didn't, Nintendo didn't.
Yeah.
Just Microsoft.
But yeah, I'm just going to run through these in the list. Ori, I love the first one. The second one looks amazing from a graphical standpoint. Actually had new combos and weapons as well, and new abilities for Ori as well. I'm looking forward to diving into that. Back compared for all Fallouts, I missed that part somehow, but like they're referring to Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, all that stuff, right? Oh my, oh that's fucking that's lit right there. Okay, I'm definitely gonna lose money and time with that. 76 Game Pass, yeah, of course. Life is Strange, don't care. Really don't care. Captain
Spirit.
Yeah, that was cringy.
Life is Strange universe.
Yeah. That was the cringiest like segment of the whole show. I was like watching, I was like, oh god, well, why is this here? But yeah, Crackdown 3, February 2019. I don't know what's up with all these publishers and devs. Like, what's up with February? Like, Avery's Moxie, maybe y'all know more else. What is something special about February 22nd? It's like the sweet sauce of the year. Like, what's going on there?
Month, but
well, I think that they're aware of Monster Hunter's success this year, and I believe last year it was Horizon Zero Dawn had some success earlier in the year. So I think they're trying to capture that, and I don't think any of these developers and publishers and everybody involved with making the decisions knew that they were all going to be doing that. They really kind of believed there'd be 1 or 2 games releasing in February, like usually, up until recently. So yeah, it is interesting that I think there's 6 big games coming out there in February.
You know what it is? It's everyone gets their Christmas money by the time they count it and get it all sorted out. February hits and it's like, okay, I got lots of money to buy games now.
Probably tax return time too. You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
first season as well. Yeah, Nier Automata, great. I'm loving it's coming to Xbox. If it was, I was going to buy it on PlayStation anyway because I was a fan of it. When they showed it off, I really want to play it. Metro Exodus looks amazing. I'm a fan of 23 and Last Light. Play the mess out of those games, so I'm really see where the story is going forward. See the expansion. A lot of people said it was a lull of the E3. I'm struggling to see how it was. Like whenever Rare comes out, do like little expansion trailers for like, the new content that drops, especially like as anime and whatnot. I just love those. I don't know about I just love seeing expand the lore, the depth of Sea of Thieves as well. So yeah, I believe what was it? It was Sunken Shores, I believe, and I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Cursed Sails and Forsaken Shores. Yeah,
Forsaken Shores. That's right. I forgot which one's coming out first, but yeah, I'm looking forward to those 2 expansions as well.
Yeah, I think Cursed is July. Yeah, July is Cursed Sails.
Okay, yeah, I remember now. Battlefield 5. This is the first Battlefield I actually cared about. Actually, I'm going to buy day 1. Battlefield 1. And I was like, yeah, I played through the campaign, but it really didn't wow me at all. Multiplayer is pretty fun too. Forza Horizon 4. I actually might buy Horizon this year. Like, I actually might just pick it up. 3 was very compelling. It's like, yeah, it's still not big in a race. 4. It's pushing me over there as well. The studios, for me, this is great. Like 5 acquisitions from Microsoft. That's great. Adding to their first party as well. Like for me, my biggest surprise was them buying Undead Labs because that completely caught me off guard. Like I literally jumped out of my seat when he said Undead Labs on the stage as well. But yeah, Playground Games, they're making a new studio with them they have 2 studios with them as well. We all I'm pretty sure we can assume they're working on Fable, but it's not going to be confirmed right now. The Initiative, the new studio is created. I have high hopes for them as well. I forgot the one that's making We Happy Few. I forgot their name right
Compulsion
now.
Games.
Yeah, it's Compulsion. Yeah, from what I heard about We Happy Few from close friends of mine, it says really good. Like from what they showed for a gameplay reveal compared to like the original trailer, it's actually is more toned to the original trailer. It's like more, I guess, linear, more story focused, like survival game. So that's pretty good. Looks very interesting. They also bought Ninja Theory. I haven't played Hellboy yet, but I do plan it. But this is definitely a good pickup for Microsoft. Not just because it got off fanboy salty because that was glorious to watch, but just like the talent that Ninja Theory has, like just having it as your exclusive belt is a win for Microsoft. And they bought another one. I'm trying to remember. Was it all 5 of them?
There's Undead, The Initiative, Playground, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion.
Yep, that's all. Okay, yeah, big win for Microsoft. Just scrolling down the list. PUBG expansion. Looks pretty cool. The only time I play PUBG is when one of my podcast friends asks me to play with them. Other than that, I don't I don't touch the game at all. Not saying it's bad, I just don't have the interest for it as well. Division 2, I touched this earlier with Ubisoft stage. It looks amazing. I'm buying it day 1. What was it called? Fast Start, I believe. That's what they're adding to it as well. That's pretty cool from a technical standpoint. I look forward to trying that out. Tomb Raider, day one Yari. You know, I love Rise of Tomb Raider. I haven't got through all the expansions yet. Of course, I will get through those in time. But yeah, Tomb Raider looks amazing. They're taking the series in the right direction.
I just want to jump back in about the fast play or the fast or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Who else is like me? So I have Game Pass, and sometimes when I get an itch to play something new, I'll go into Game Pass, scroll through the lists, and then see something. It's like, oh, I want to play that. And it drives me nuts to realize, oh shit, now I have to sit and wait for it to install.
Yeah.
But if this fast play says, you know, we're going to cut your install time down from 30 minutes to 5, then that's a win-win, I think, for everybody.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, they're using the Microsoft AI, so they're kind of what they did with that announcement and a couple of the other ones that we'll get into here is they're basically saying that they're throwing down the gauntlet from my standpoint to all their competitors. And I'm not talking about Nintendo and Sony. I don't think they're trying to say, look, we're doing all this stuff and flexing their muscles to them as much as the Alphabet company, Amazon, and Apple. So they're like, we've got Microsoft AI behind our game development now. We've got the obviously Azure power of the cloud, which we'll be seeing more later on as well. You've got all their services. You've got all their hardware teams working synergistically together. They mentioned multiple devices. We heard there's 2, but multiple devices coming in the future there. They're basically saying to their competitors, do you guys really want to put your entire company and your entire company's resources to game development going forward? Because that's what they did. And then in addition to that, announcing 5 new publishers, or not publishers, but 5 new development houses at the same time underneath Microsoft. Now having 11, they really committed to gaming more than I think we anticipated, and I think anyone has ever done, any company has ever done going forward.
Yeah, they definitely are beating their chest at their actual competitors. So it was Google, Apple, and the rest of them as well. Because didn't Microsoft recently pass Alphabet in net value? I believe it was.
Yeah, I think just recently.
They go back and forth. They kind of trade places every once in a while. But a couple of analysts predicted that Microsoft would hit $1 trillion sometime in the next year. So they're thinking they're going to hit $1 trillion in market cap here pretty soon, which is incredible. If they do that in the next year, they would have beat Google. They would have beat Alphabet Company to the punch there. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, this is great. This is a great time for gamers. This is definitely a great time for Microsoft. They're out here flexing their muscles. They're like, yeah, come at us now. You really want to have this fight? All right, come get it. But, you know, back to the games. Devil May Cry 5. That completely caught me off guard. Like I was not expecting them to show down on their stage as well, because there's rumors that it's being Sony exclusive. I'm like, if it is, I have a PlayStation. I'm gonna play it there anyways. No big deal. They have shown on a stage. This kills the narrative that Microsoft doesn't have any Japanese support. Because they're really working on it during this time around now. We see with Monster Hunter World, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, not Devil May Cry, of course, there are other ones as well, and Nier Automata as well. Like they're really, it shows the markets they're really working towards killing off all these narratives that are hindering them so much. Because they killed off single player, they have no single players, they killed that off. No third-party support, Japanese game support as well, and their commitment to the Xbox brand. They killed all of those in a little over an hour. In one day.
Microsoft fixed every big thing everybody was trying to say that they don't have in one conference.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, I've got one quick thing to actually say about that. So back in 2013 when Microsoft first came out and they made their blunder with talking about TV. Okay, so that was the argument then. It was not enough about games. Okay, and then the next E3 it was you're not powerful enough, and then the next E3 was, you don't have enough games. Now you know what it is? It's, you don't have enough bangers. Like, the goalposts keep moving every year, and it doesn't matter how good Microsoft does, someone has something negative to say about what has happened or what's going on in the industry and why Microsoft will never get ahead. But,
you know,
They have to shut up now. They have to shut up now.
Yeah.
Jay, I have to add on to that as well. The new thing is they shouldn't be acquiring studios too. They added it onto the list of things Microsoft
They shouldn't be? Is that what you said?
They're doing too much.
Too many studios. Way too many studios.
Not fair, yeah.
Keeping games away from
first party problem, which
Can't wait to see what the next one is, because these people are going to have to get creative this time.
It's not working though. You've already seen that type of thing that you guys just mentioned, and it doesn't matter. They fired on all cylinders here. They really nailed every aspect of what people wanted to see from them. So I don't think that's happening. I'm seeing a lot of positive articles. I'm seeing a lot of positivity just coming out here from people that were there and people that got to watch it elsewhere. So
people are trying to claim that Sea of Thieves State of Decay flop. Phil Spencer just came out and just debunked all of that. Got people running with that now. People try to play the ignorant card, right? They're saying, yeah, they said it did well, but we don't know how well. So that probably didn't do as well as we thought. Like, what the? Are y'all really trying to play this card now? Like, I'm just learning not to give people attention, but people are they're trying to flex their brain muscles, right? Their mind right now to find anything to tear down Microsoft with. Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
It's sad to see. Like, you can't just enjoy gaming or like admit, yeah, they're doing pretty well, but I like this thing better. It's just kind of like you have to feel better about yourself by bashing something else. Yeah. I don't know why.
It's like people always say that we need this from Microsoft, we need that from Microsoft, and they say it like, oh, well, I would only be happy with Xbox and Microsoft if they do these things. And then they always do these things. And then instead of being like, yep, see, now I'm happy because they did these things, they're like, oh, no, I don't want those things anymore. I want these other things. Like, it always has to be Microsoft has to do things in the future for me to be happy. But then they do, like, this conference is the ultimate. They nailed every single thing and you're still not happy.
To be honest, I don't think they're even trying as hard as they used to, the naysayers towards Microsoft. Because today, a couple people are running with, you should be ashamed of yourselves, Xbox fans, because Microsoft sold us 3 consoles. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, hold on. PlayStation Slim and a Pro.
Don't forget PSVR.
Yeah, and they're begging for PS5. You know, see a lot of people like, oh, PlayStation 5's revealed. But,
so I'm just saying, these people, they're on their last legs. They're just throwing anything at the wall, see what sticks at this point. But enough of the bums. We'll get right back to the games. Cuphead DLC looks phenomenal, especially a new character. I don't know about y'all, but seeing her double jump like that, I squealed in my seat. I just squealed just seeing a new game mechanic. Like, yay! Oh, that's funny. But I'm a fraud because I haven't finished the game yet. I'm like 80% through. That game is hard as shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm on Island 3 and I still haven't gotten through it.
Yeah. Bunch of noobs. I beat it all.
I told myself I was going to dedicate more time to it, but then Bethesda wants to be a bunch of bums and release a new game plus for Prey, so I'm about to jump right back into that. The game that I already beat months ago. But
and hopefully they did the online. I know people are hoping for online multiplayer announcement from Cuphead because that'd be good because I think that would even pick up more people playing together. No, for Cuphead.
Oh yeah. They're also adding that as well. When I'm not sure.
I think that'd be big.
Yeah, Outer Wild looks amazing. Looks dope. I love indie games. I always continue to love indie games. You know, people try to hate on them for some weird reason. I don't know. It reminds me of the older like Zelda games. Just like a Super Lucky's Tale spin-off in some weird way. I'm definitely going to try it out. Dying Light 2. I'm so glad they're doing this game because
I love Dying Light. It's one of my favorite games.
Oh my god, Dying Light and their expansion released the following. That was like, what year did that come out? 2015, I believe. 2016. I can't remember. One of those years. It was my game year that year.
Yeah, it was 2015.
Yeah, 2015, I believe. Yeah.
Dying Light's a really good.
Like I'm such a zombie guy too, right? Like I don't get tired of the genre either. You guys probably know Mooch says the same thing over and over that he doesn't get tired of the zombie genre, and neither do I. But Dying Light, and I even love Dead Island. I was
Dead Island's good.
Who said that? Looking forward. Bad? Yeah, I was so looking forward to them doing an announcement of Dead Island 2 and wish that had come out, but. Can't wait for that game either. Yeah, such a great series.
Right. Man, I'm trying to figure out how people keep saying they're tired of zombie games. I'm trying to count my hand. Like, how often do these games even come out? Like, because earlier this year we had Metal Gear Survive. I even touched that. I didn't follow that. Before that, what was it? Resident Evil 7, which is not even a zombie game. At this point, like biological enhanced humans were like monsters at this point. And before that, what? Dying Light, probably.
It's probably Call of Duty. You know, they have the mode.
Yeah. They have the modes. Yeah, there's lots of games.
There's not a game.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Yeah,
Dead Rising 4. Wow.
Anything we get like what, one every other year at this point, and if that bothers you, I'm trying. I don't understand how one game in a certain genre bothers you every other year, but okay.
You just don't play it.
There's so many different types of it too. Like State of Decay is so different from Dying Light, which is different from Dead Rising and some other ones. So there's different types of zombie games too.
Yeah, people are weird, man. Battletoads, I wish they would have showed us more, but I'm actually pumped for that. Even though they just showed me on the title screen. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to find out more about that next year. Just Cause 4, I never cared for the series, so I'm going to breeze right through that. Gears Tactics on PC. It being on PC really doesn't bother me that much because what Halo 2 come out, I love that game.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, I feel like this game would have done probably will land it better if it was on PC only, actually dedicated towards that crowd. Because of course there is a console fan base. There's a fan base for RTS on console, but compared to the PC fan base, yes, it's Colossus, man. Especially if they actually dedicate towards PC, actually go toe actually bigger RTS on PCs like StarCraft, Command and Conquer, and etc. I feel like go up for a much better game. Not saying what we got on consoles is bad, but I feel like it has more potential on PC as well. Gears Tactics looks pretty cool. I know people imagine that coming to Xbox, but it's an XCOM game. I'm pretty sure it'll eventually land on Xbox, but we just don't know right now.
If I can cut you off for there.
Yeah.
So if there is one thing I can criticize, if there is one thing I can really jump on, and it's because Phil said it himself. He said in an interview, I think it was about 2 years ago, that you're going to see some things that are exclusive to certain platforms. He kind of hinted at mobile. He didn't say very specifically. Obviously, we're getting that Gears Pop mobile game. So that's kind of exclusive to that. He said that there would be things that are exclusive to PC. He definitely said that. And he also mentioned that there would be some things that are exclusive to Xbox. So now we've got the PC and the mobile stuff coming. Racing game, Gears Pop going to mobile. You've got this Tactics. You've also got, what was it, Age of Empires, I believe, is not on Xbox now currently.
I forgot.
Yeah, so what he needs to show, though, I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, is Phil needs to come out and say this is exclusive to Xbox. It's just going to be on Xbox. That's like the last thing you can really, if you want to try to hold them accountable to things they've said. That's pretty much the last narrative that's out there after this show. Am I right? What do you guys think?
No, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing about go ahead, Easy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think I was mentioning that pre-show because if you say all the games for Xbox will end up being Windows 10, but then you have a Windows 10 game come out and not be Xbox. I know, I know people say, "Oh, it's RTS," but you can do RTSs on console. That's been proven several times. So I would love to have that Gears game. Even that's an RTS. I'm like, hey, it'll work. And why have exclusive on that, but not have an exclusive like say Halo Infinite. I mean, if that was exclusive to actual Xbox One and not PC, then it'd be huge. But like I said, they've kind of changed where they want all the Xbox games on Windows. But if you don't go the other way around, then I can see some people well, why are you doing one way, not the other? So
the word exclusive is a dirty word.
It is.
But oh man, I just lost my train of thought. What was
bad?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Xbox community. It's weird because some of the games that are mad that's not coming to Xbox, like Miami Heights, Miami Streets, whatever. Gears XCOM. Well, Gears Tactics. I'm figuring the guys that are complaining about it, y'all don't even touch Halo Wars 2. Some of the smaller games. So y'all, it's not even enough that you want these games. It's like a matter of principle to y'all. You just want them to be there just to say they're there.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a list tour kind of thing. How people do that. I'm like, most of the games y'all list on whatever console.
What has everybody gone yet on talking about Microsoft or no?
I haven't.
I have not.
Okay, so
you want to, Mossy? It don't matter to me.
No, go ahead, Easy.
Okay. Yeah, I won't do it as long because he did a good job of kind of briefly going through everything. I think it's just one overall point I want to make just about the conference. I mean, to me, it's the best one. I loved it. I gave it a good 9 out of 10. But I think it's just it has such good variety. And we all talked about, I mean, there's kind of really a game for anyone. It don't matter if it's exclusive or not. You saw, they got the good Japanese support. And the biggest thing for me, it wasn't so much what exclusive game is going to be at Xbox is some games that would have probably been a PS4 exclusive that weren't. Just the whole, I think Sekiro Shadows Die Twice was incredible. I was like, man, this game looks really good.
That does look
really good. And you have games like Kingdom Hearts 3, and you have Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition, and then like I said, Devil May Cry 5 was the biggest one. And a lot of people before the show thought that would probably been a PS4 exclusive, was kind of the rumor going around, and then it turns out Xbox actually has it on their stage. So it just shows, man, you can get these games on the Xbox for so those that only have the Xbox, you can enjoy kind of a mixture of everything. So I think that was really the big positive for me, which I like. Even though I have all the systems, I prefer the Xbox ecosystem controller. So it's good to see these kind of games where Nier Automata. I mean, of course, that's another big one. Hey, it's coming out this month and it had all the DLC and stuff. So even though I have it on PS4, I think it's actually a friend's copy. So I'm going to buy it on Xbox and give it back to him on PS4. But it's good. But I think just overall good mixture of everything. Halo Infinite, I mean, that was awesome. And like most people probably said, with the whole new engine they're making, it kind of shows why it's taking a little bit longer. But I mean, it's really think people get hyped for it because, I mean, it could potentially be, the launch for the next generation. It could be, when they actually start, maybe like the launch game for them or something. It looks like it could be 2020, if not next year. But I mean, it's interesting to see where they could lead. I think it's going to be just awesome, the next step in Master Chief, and kind of bring back Halo to what people loved. But I'm hyped for that because I'm a huge Halo fan. But of course, Ori and Will of the Wisp. I mean, beautiful game. First one's incredible, so I'm excited to see where they go with that. Of course, Fallout, that was nice. I mean, it kind of is just like a good mix of everything. Metro Exodus is amazing. It looks like a day one. I hope I'm pretty sure there will be some with that February 22nd date. Some are going to be moving from that because there's too many big games, and I know one or two will probably push back a month or so to kind of give it room because you don't want to compete for no reason, especially with the Anthem coming out that day.
I can't imagine where they're going to go with Halo to make it better, because even though Halo 5 had a lot of criticism, it was a gorgeous game.
Oh, it's the best multiplayer to me too. It's great. Gorgeous. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, so I mean, just even 5% better would be mind blowing.
Oh, I completely agree with you. It's actually like odd for, not to cut you off, Easy. Here in just a minute, but like Moxie and I have had these conversations before. It's actually really odd for us to try to have a conversation about Halo 5 and people saying that's a bad game, because we had a great time. We played it four-player co-op with, I believe, my brother and like my best friend from LA, I want to say, and just had a blast. Amazing. Ran through the campaign and then got as much multiplayer as we could. We were all really busy, but we loved it. I don't remember any of us having a criticism or something wrong with it.
No, not at all.
I think it was the story. People just criticize the story. That's it.
I could see like you not liking that there's someone that's on Master Chief's level, and them getting into like a fist fight being a problem. I guess there's that, but I mean it
didn't bother me at all.
They kind of announced that it was a part of the Reclaimer saga, right? Am I crazy? Like it's part 2 of that saga. Mm-hmm. You have to go through that. If you know anything about the Halo lore, you have to go through that to get to the next part, the good part that's coming soon. But it does look like maybe there's a directional shift with Infinite. They changed, obviously, the title. It's not Halo 6, it's Infinite now. So that there's got to be something they're leaning into there, and what that means. And yeah, I don't know if that can be done on an Xbox One. The way that engine looks, Slipstream is a brand new engine. For usually when you get a brand new engine, you get a brand new generation. So that's going to be incredible. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I don't think the only reason with 5 is because people think Halo and think Master Chief, and when you only play with him as much as you did, I know people probably didn't like that. So that's probably the one thing. Like, hell, this is all Master Chief now, Infinite, and kind of bring back I think it's the only way it's sort of improving. Though people always like, I wish it would change a little bit. I mean, maybe make it, not saying open world, but maybe more open, because I know Halo 1 felt a little bit more open, and you can do sort of like like we think of like Tomb Raider. Like I love the reboots, like Rise of Tomb Raider. It had like the semi-open world parts where you can explore, but like in a certain set area, but it wasn't just big open world, like like say Horizon Zero Dawn or some others. So you can do something like that. I don't know how that would work with Halo, but I mean, I think they may make some stuff with that, or just stick mostly with Master Chief. But I mean, like, hopefully, I don't know, people are probably iffy about Battle Royale. I hope not, but you never know. But definitely, it's interesting to just see where they can go with it, because it's only like to just show like that trailer, no like gameplay. But I'm excited to see more about that. But and of course, one of the big ones. I mean, to me, the reason you get Xbox is for Halo, Gears, and Forza. And that's probably what people are like, oh, that's the big games we got with that. No new IP. But to me, I mean, I loved what I saw. Halo Infinite got me hyped. Forza Horizon 4 looked amazing. It's one of the best racing games out there. 3 was, and you just see how much more improved it is with the whole seasons and just how everything's connected now. Now you actually, I believe you don't even play with Drivatars. You actually play with a connected world with people online and get to play and go everywhere. And all the seasons change simultaneously with everyone. So it looks just like next level, and seeing the graphics and how that looked, I'm so stoked. And that's a big, bombshell. It's just it's game day and date with Game Pass. And a lot of people would see things and say it okay. They're fine games, but people are like, the one criticism, how people always trying to find something. They're like, oh, you just have mediocre games in Game Pass. That's why the Forza Horizon 4 is coming out. There you go. Can't really complain about that. So I think that's going to be amazing. But yeah, I think it's another big bombshell is studio acquisitions. I mean, it's just, I know we talked about, I think the pre-show, the last time we met, we were kind of thinking, what do you think they could show to really impress people? We're talking about the game plan. I mean, you really can't show that, or whether it should show just all the games they're working on. I think there's end up being like the best kind of way to do it, because, how Phil Spencer says he doesn't like showing games years out. He likes to show somewhat at least reasonable. I think this is the perfect way to kind of show, hey, we're investing in first party. Here's almost doubled our studios. We got all this stuff. We know they're working on something. And then, of course, we get like their big hitters with Gears, Halo, and Forza. But at the same time, we got all these good games. And you look at it like, well, a lot of these are like probably end of this year until next year, pretty reasonable time frame. There's nothing they showed that was like years and years away. So it kind of fits. But, I think they did a pretty good job of balancing that with what Phil likes to do and not showing, I know a lot of people hope to see Fable, which I think we might see something because I know he's hinted with Playground Games acquisition that they are Forza, and there's another game they're working on that he's going to show later. I'm like, will that be Gamescom, or you never know, or it could be, will it actually be Fable or something? So that could be hopefully something he'll show a bit later. But that's just huge to have all the studios. And I've seen some people online want to say, well, what's the point of purchasing? Wouldn't like State of Decay already exclusive or Forza? But the thing is, though, when you have what they were like Undead Labs before, they just were pretty much independent doing themselves. So they had much smaller budget, smaller team. But once you get acquired first party studio, now they have the full backing of Microsoft, and they'll be able to have, more resources. Probably, sure the teams are going to grow. When people see, Ninja Theory and just a small team that hadn't made Hellblade, how good that was, they're just going to still have all small teams. I'm pretty sure they're going to, increase budget, have a lot more people on there, a lot more resources. So I just think, if anything, the games will just only get better from the ones they were. So, it's pretty, like I said, big deal. And that's why they want to acquire them. And he's not even done yet, man. He said, too, that he was still looking at some. So it'd be interesting to hear news pretty soon. You never know what other ones coming out. But, I thought that was pretty good. And then, of course, like Xbox Game Pass stuff was pretty neat. I actually typed up all the ID at Xbox games I saw. There's so many. I was like, just to kind of, like, reference back later. But, of course –
I need to go through
it
myself.
Yeah. There's like Outer Worlds, After Party, Kingdom, 2 Crowns, had Golf Club, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Revenge Wars, Below, Conqueror's Blade, Super Meat Boy Forever, Raji, Islands of Nine, Sable. It's just like a few Children of Morta. Has some that actually like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the thing. I like that too. Like, everyone's kind of like, you have the certain things that they say kind of slow the show down, like Minecraft, or you have, coming out discussing ID at Xbox. I like just a big little reel, like, hey, a minute or two, just kind of going through all these games. They look cool, but you just got a brief look. And that was it. You didn't have to, go through a big segment, no Minecraft. So that's why I think the show really didn't slip at all. It just had game after game, good variety, stuff I'm interested in. And another one is like Session, that skateboarding game. I know a lot of people were hoping for Skate 4, but I think I heard something like there's actually some of the developers of Skate are working on Session. And I know it's, I think, a console exclusive. But, that's a pretty big deal because, that's something we haven't had in a while, is a good skating game. So,
Exactly.
I think that's a pretty big enough for that, crowd. That's pretty awesome. You actually get a game like that. So
It's definitely going to mix up.
Mhm.
With a lot of games we get now, it's definitely going to mix up half of another sport-related game that isn't like the big ones like Madden, FIFA.
Exactly.
2K like that.
Of course, yeah, somehow I love Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I can't wait for that. That's a day one buy, so that was awesome seeing that. Black Desert, I'm excited about, just to kind of, I thought it was supposed to have been out already, and it's taken a while, but it'd be cool to come out. But Tunic is a game that's actually a little indie, like kind of cool, like the Zelda Fox, people say. It kind of reminded me of that, but I'm like, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
That game's actually being developed in my hometown.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So, yeah, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's like
I
one
can't wait.
developer, right? It's
One guy. Yeah, one guy.
Oh, wow. And there's some good games I know. What was one game I played? I forget. There was a game that only one guy developed it all. And it's actually cool. It's like a Metroid kind of game. It reminded me of Metroid. It was a really cool game. If I can remember, I'll mention it later on. But
Below? Is it Below?
Oh, it wasn't Below. It's already been out for like a couple years. I have to look it up real quick. But very fun game. It had like Metroidvania kind of feel. But I was like, I heard one guy did everything, even the music. I thought, man, that's really impressive. So it's amazing the talent out there. But yeah, Jeff Force, I know we talked about that. That's definitely a surprise. I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. And same with Devil May Cry 5 when they showed that. Just overall a lot of good games. I'm excited about Battletoads. After all this time, we finally get confirmation there's a Battletoads. But
yeah.
Be kind of interesting to see how that actually looks. And then, of course, probably the best troll of all time was when they showed the Gears symbol. People were freaking out. And then the pop figure came out. People thought, what the heck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he talks about, hey, we got 3 games. And then finally Gears 5, which, yeah, that was like amazing just seeing that. Probably one of the best looking games I've seen. It was beautiful. Just interesting to see how that goes. And, of course, big one's the ending on the Cyberpunk 2077 reveal. I know that's one a lot of people are wanting to at least see something about. It's amazing how good The Witcher 3 is in their devs, and you see that how different from anything Witcher, but it looks incredible, the world, and I'm just like really excited to see kind of, you know, how that plays out and how that goes. But I mean, like, it's just overall, you've already been mentioned all the games. We won't have to go through anymore, but solid conference, a lot of games. I think it gets people hyped and excited for, you know, what's kind of coming from Xbox. And then just, I mean, you only go up from here, I think. And then I'm pretty sure, I don't know what they'll show from, I'm hopefully, you know, with Crackdown 3, I actually kind of like what they showed and got me a little excited for it again. I hope the Gamescom will see more multiplayer and kind of show that. And maybe we'll see hints down the road about some of what the like Playground is working on, the other game they're doing, and then kind of
real
go
quick
from there.
Easy. The game you're referring to, developed by one person, is Cave Story.
Oh, actually, there's a different game. Yeah, that is one that's really good.
That's one of them. Oh, that was a different one. Oh, okay. There's several. Okay,
there he is. Because I heard about that, I have to look it up. Yeah, because Cave Story actually was a good game, but this one is like it was like a 8-bit kind of game. It played like Metroid, reminded me of that, like the feel of Metroid, and you actually go through kind of like Metroid. But it was really cool. I can't remember the name of it. It's killing me now. I have to look up my 600 games I have on Xbox. I have to find it, but yeah, I'll let y'all know later when I'm done talking. But yeah, I mean, great show. Definitely. I mean, the only complaint was like what Avery said. I mean, there's really not much you can complain about except, you know, the typical. I know there wasn't many for, you know, third person, you know, there's so many kind of games that people hope for, but I mean, I believe those are coming, and that's, you know,
those are absolutely coming. You know, there's things I can't exactly say because I don't want to betray certain things that I heard, but yeah, absolutely 100%. You guys are gonna like a lot of the stuff that they haven't announced yet.
Yeah. So that's the big thing. It's just all this they showed is great, but there's even more coming. I mean, I think that's the big thing. Is just at least the C3 Phil Spencer just put out there. We're in it to win it. And then,
do you think they revealed those new surprises already? Was inside Xbox or Gamescom? I'm kind of hoping Xbox inside Xbox because it's their own show. They can control it and try everything flows what they want to show.
Well,
everything.
I mean, take a look at all the people that are constantly praising Nintendo for doing what they've been doing with their directs. Remember that one little Smash Brothers reveal? Go ahead.
Yep.
I remember the name. It's Axiom Verge is the name of that game.
I look at just that. I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, that's what I heard. Is I was only one person that actually developed the whole game, which I was like, that's impressive. But if you haven't checked it out, that's actually a good indie game. If you like the Metroid kind of game, I was like pretty impressed with it. It's really fun.
Yeah. Jay and Moxie, did you go?
Nope.
Did Jay say? I thought Jay did say something at one point.
Jay
I jump in every so often. You know, so much has been said about the Microsoft conference already. It's hard to actually say anything new. But you know, all I'm going to say is that it was very impressive. Phil basically covered all of his bases. I think he has shut up the haters for now. And if the argument now is not enough exclusives, well, they've got 5 new studios, and the exclusives are just gonna start flowing eventually. And then what are you gonna do? I mean, I'm happy that they announced so many development teams, because now we know the games are coming. Like, there's no doubt in anyone's mind. Nobody can argue that anymore. So, you know, bring on the games, and please have mercy on my wallet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think if you listen to what Phil says in interviews, and we can talk about it a little bit briefly here towards the end, but, you know, Phil did that interview with Giant Bomb last night. Great interview. Everyone should check that out.
Phenomenal interview.
They tell you what's been going on. He said he basically had to work on Satya. Satya came in from a different part of the company, didn't really know anything about games. He said this actually in an interview. Phil had to be the one to educate him and show him this is what this can do in the future if you put some resources behind it. That wasn't a one-day conversation for him. That was over years since Phil took over when Don Matrick left. And now he's at that point to where he's got Satya's ear. He's listening to him, and he's like, you know what? You're right. Yeah, we can have a really big push for gaming in the future. They put, like I said earlier, they put the entire company now behind it, and that's where they're going. Moxie, so what is your impressions of what you got to see here?
So I have like a little list of my favorite things, since most of it's gotten covered. So there is something that I said and predicted a while back, and I got mad crap for it.
Yep, I remember this.
When Games Pass was coming out. is I was looking ahead and I was saying this isn't just going to be their first party, their exclusive games. There's going to be third party big titles that are going to be added to that. And so they put in Division 2, Elder Scrolls, and the Fallout games into Games Pass, which is massive, because if they keep doing that, even just doing it a couple times, but certainly if they keep doing it, there's going to be more and more and more reason to play on Xbox. If something that's third party now is in Games Pass, you can now play a third party game for $10 a month instead of having to buy those 3 third party games. So that's huge. I knew that was coming. I took all kinds of crap when I said that was what Games Pass was. Now we see it, and we see that Microsoft is working with these third-party developers to take those titles and put them in Games Pass. Then, in addition to that, they're taking games that have always been like PlayStation exclusives, and they're getting them on the platform. And there's work that goes into that too. So like Kingdom Hearts, those were like always thought of as PlayStation games, and they're bringing them onto their platform. So they're putting some of their stuff in Games Pass, some of the third-party stuff in Games Pass. They're getting games that maybe used to be more thought of as PlayStation on their platform. Then he did say that they're investing a lot more, which I'm sure when we see earnings and we see their actual financial reports, because they're publicly traded, that they literally are investing more into their existing franchises, which is huge. They announced the new Halo and the new Gears at the same conference, which never happens. And it's like they're investing into those, and then they're making really cool changes to those, like Forza Horizon 4 having like the other players actually in your game, and they acquired 5 studios. So it's like they're firing on all cylinders. They're getting stuff into Games Pass that would be other platforms in an advantage over other platforms. They're getting stuff on Xbox that's supposed to be PlayStation. They're investing more into the franchises that mean the world to Microsoft. People try to downplay Gears and Halo and Forza, and those are huge. If Microsoft wasn't still putting money into that, it would be a problem. So they're putting more into that. They acquired not only new developers, but again, developers that were associated with Sony, like Ninja Theory. And then they have obviously some type of either marketing rights or possibly an exclusivity type thing with Tomb Raider. So, I mean, everything people have been trying to say is like in an hour and a half, they knocked out all the things that people thought Microsoft isn't working on, isn't thinking of. It's like, I mean, in the next couple of years, I think we'll see all of this.
Yeah. And to add to that, so most games that I played on the show floor had a PlayStation controller. Tomb Raider had nothing but Xbox controllers at both stations that I saw it at. So that was cool. I do think they have something going on. You also predicted something else. You predicted that they would get AI involved with their gaming. That was something that we found out as well. So a few things that you predicted over the last year ended up coming to fruition now that we know. Yeah. In addition to what you said about the third-party support with Game Pass, they have 4 games, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. They have 4 games launching into Game Pass from third-party developers over the next year. So if you do the math on that, obviously, that's a game a quarter that they're doing. So that's a pretty good investment if you look at what's going to have to do deal-wise behind the scenes, like what kind of contracts they're going to have to sign to get these third-party developers. Obviously, we know about Fallout 4 now coming, The Division, Elder Scrolls, the online multiplayer. What's it called? Do you guys know what that is?
No.
For
yeah. So the one that's the MMO right now is coming, and then several others. Say again.
Black Desert.
Talking about Black Desert.
No. I'm talking about the actual Elder Scrolls game.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, online. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Online. That one's coming, and they have several other things coming that they probably haven't really announced yet. In the future. So yeah, they're going to get to the point to where you're going to see like a game a month coming out of that Game Pass that's basically either an exclusive deal or some partnership with third party or their own first party game. Like we know Forza's coming and several other things. So you pretty much nailed it on that, Moxie, over the last year. You can catch those videos on G4G if you want to know what we're talking about. We make a lot of predictions on that stuff, and like 90% of what we said has ended up coming true about Sony and Microsoft. A lot of predictions about both, so definitely. Surprised nobody's really gone off on Gears 5, and I'm guessing it's because Operation said he wanted to
Saving that for and a savory morsel right there.
Yeah.
I think people know what I think about that, so I don't even think I have to make a big scene. Like everybody knows Moxie's thrilled about
But
that.
we got dedicated portion to Gears 5 because there's so much I want to dive into that.
Yeah, I just think I loved it, but I don't want to like go too much for time. But yeah, it looks incredible.
Well, I'll let Operation take it then. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, screw it, we're going now. All right, so first theory, of course, y'all remember the scene where JD was talking to Kate. His arms start acting up. He like bent over, like wheezing, like, and he like pressed the button. He like started stabilizing. All right, I have two things going on. Either it's probably prosthetic that his body's not accustomed to yet, or he's infected with the swarm. Because if you remember in Gears 3 and Gears 2 and 3, they're dealing with a lambent. If I remember correctly, it's like lambent's like some kind of species or a parasite that's living in the world, and it started infected with it started affecting the how do I forget their names already? The grubs. It started affecting them. They started going to humans as well. Then of course they finally beat them off in 3. They actually went some kind of crystalline stage, like hardened crystals, and they came back as a swarm. I'm thinking the swarm right now is a mutated form of the lambent right now, and it's coming back to like in more it's coming back in parasitic form as well. Because you remember in Gears 4, because you remember in Gears 4 when they talked to what was it, Quinn again, the commander lady. She's talking to him like for the third time in a robot. They would pounce through a quill at the robot and start taking over it as well. So I'm thinking the swarm is actually able to infect humans as well. That's my main theory.
Was that the emulsion? The emulsion caused all that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It was from the emulsion as well. But yeah, that's definitely like my main theory. What's going on with JD and rest of him as well. Of course, Kate being connected to the Swarm Queen. I call that not Swarm Queen. I can't forget what they're calling in the original Gears. I forgot. But where I called that back then, she's related in some way, form, or fashion back then as well. But yeah, I'm so excited for this game. Graphically, it looks beautiful. I've listened to the interviews with Rob Ferguson during Inside Xbox. Him talk about the process going through the game, how to like expanding it as well. He even mentioned how back they were doing Gears 4, his team's come all these crazy ideas. He's like, "Whoa, let's pump the brakes on this real quick. Let's prove to everybody that we can make a Gears game. Then let's dive into that for the next one as well." So they're taking Gears in the next direction. I'm excited for it. They brought like a melee weapon. You remember that giant mace that Kate was using? That awesome. Looked amazing. That reminded me of what was it? I think it was like the chain mace that you used back in Gears 2, I believe. Yeah. 2 or 3. Yeah. I love to bring the melee weapons back into the games, especially in the DBs now, like the weird infected forms. Like this game has a much more creepier vibe to it, which I'm loving as well. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I said enough. I'll let y'all take it from now.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, graphically, as much as I love that Slipstream engine demo that they showed, it does look amazing. It's going to be that big, sprawling, open world kind of look to it, to Halo Infinite. Nothing I saw, maybe with the exception of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, nothing I saw can touch Gears 5 graphically. The new facial animation stuff they're doing, where their faces are moving like something you'd see like almost in a Marvel movie, almost like Thanos level CG or one of the other really great Marvel CGs that they've put out over these last few years. That's basically going to be in the engine. So you're going to see that during cutscenes, and then you're also going to see that whenever they show up closes on faces during gameplay. As you guys can see, you can watch that in 4K on YouTube right now. They have it. So yeah, Gears looked incredible. What did you guys think? Everyone else, Moxie, Jay, Easy. How did you feel about Gears 5? That reveal?
Oh, I got a warm and fuzzy about it. It's amazing. Yeah,
yeah, I love the Gears games.
As good as it can, really, as good as I could have imagined.
Yeah, exactly.
What was everybody's game of the Microsoft conference? Whoever wants to go first.
It's between Gears 5 and Devil May Cry for me, because the gameplay they showed of Devil May Cry 5 looked amazing.
Yeah.
Not for me. Yeah.
It's definitely Gears 5 for me. I can never announce a Gears game and it not be my game of show ever.
Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say Gears 5 and Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's see it. Tomb Raider, Forza Horizon 4, all good. But I just read this little bombshell here that I think Cyberpunk 2077 might be my game, and here's why. An article from PC Games came out a couple hours ago, and it says you can have sex any way you want.
Any way you want, not just anywhere.
Yeah, anyway, quote unquote. So, anyone buy it for me now? I was like, there you go. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Someone's like, challenge accepted.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna break the game.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I just saw that. I'm retweeting that now. I thought that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. That was
I thought it was gonna be first person, but no, you don't mention this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, as amazing as Gears is, I usually go off of the very old criteria that they used to use back in the industry when they took it a little more seriously. I think it was Adam Sessler that used to say that as well on G4-G. That it had to be playable, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider was playable, and it's going to melt faces. It looks incredible. They actually had it not running on Xboxes; they had it running on dev kits. So Xbox dev kits, the white ones. They have the little display and the buttons on it. So that should tell you that they still, even though it's coming out in September, they still don't have it fully optimized yet for the Xbox to be released yet. It looked unbelievable how good it was. There's been a lot of talk. We're about to go into this for the PlayStation part before we wrap up. A lot of talk about the animation for The Last of Us 2, and it did look incredible in that video, the way the characters move, but the way Laura moves and the way the enemies move and the way she can go in and out of stealth is unlike anything I have ever seen in person. And it just looked unbelievable. You can like slink back and fall into like whatever foliage is around on the walls. And she hides in that pretty well. She also hides the way they showed Ellie hide in The Last of Us 2, where you can get down into the grass and stuff. And it actually looks very similar. It's kind of interesting that both of these teams, the team making Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the team making The Last of Us, they're kind of hitting the same marks there. One game is definitely coming out this year. You're going to be able to play with Shadow. It'll be interesting to see if The Last of Us can contain and really maintain that level of quality that we saw from that trailer. So something
a lot of people don't know is that Lara Croft is actually Sam Fisher's illegitimate daughter.
Actually, it looked a lot like the what was it, Chaos Theory, where they had like some of the jungle type plants around in the levels that they let us play there for Shadow. So it's funny you say that. It reminded me of that while I was there. So yeah. So anybody else want to go before we move on to Sony?
No, pretty good. I think I've covered everything I can think of.
All right. So the final part there was Sony's conference. That's what we're talking about now. So they started off kind of interesting. It was in a church, and they started off in the church so that they could mimic the scenery in The Last of Us. They did say that they were going to do deep dives. I guess they kind of did a little bit more of a deeper dive into The Last of Us. They showed a lot of that, but everything else felt a little less deep, if you ask me, from what it was. I heard a lot of chatter from industry people that were actually there that were complaining and saying that they were getting hot and sweaty, and they thought it was funny that they had characters on screen mentioning how hot and sweaty and smelly they were getting, because that's what was actually happening to them. And if you go back and you watch it, they have it up on YouTube. You have to fast forward past the first hour and a half or so, but you can actually see people with an upset look on their face in the crowd. So it's interesting that they decided to do that. It feels like they're trying to scale back. Sony's trying to spend a little bit less money on their show going forward. Yeah, I mean, that's what I gathered from it.
Definitely showing.
There was an intermission as well, where they moved people from one area to another, and that actually took quite a while.
It took 20 minutes. And during that 20 minutes, there was a little like interview thing with Sean Layden and some of their PlayStation like media people, where he said that it was going to be a lot of deep dive and that we should not expect anything big or new or exciting, and that we should be very happy with what we get this year during that 20-minute intermission. Then they went over to the other trailers, and they literally did not show anything that was new that we didn't know was coming.
So what's the new agenda? That Sony has no money?
Pretty much.
Well, we've talked about that before. That they're scaling back, and this is definitely proof that they are. But like I said earlier,
person in charge, because they're hemorrhaging money.
Well, it's not so much that they're hemorrhaging money; they're making money now. They're definitely starting to pull it in as they've cleaned up their businesses over the last decade, as they cut a lot of the fat. But now they don't want to expand anymore. They want to continue to cut because they've seen profits from what they're doing. So I think it's going to get smaller. I think they're going to continue to do things like this at E3 and Gamescom. What do you guys think? How did you feel about it? Whoever wants to go, jump in.
Yeah, I've seen some people saying, and I can kind of see that. They have several shows. So, I mean, And that can be like fanboy damage control, so to speak. You know how they are, like, oh, well, they have this other show, but I kind of see, you know, Sony, the PSX show, they want to do more for that. So maybe the E3, they only show a little bit more. I mean, I don't know. It changes every year, it feels like. But I know when Sean Layton was kind of like, oh, we're going to, you know, make it a different thing. They want to do their own thing and make you feel experienced and kind of be in the moment. And that's why they want to do all that. And I don't know, some people thought that they were going to do that for all 4 major games. And maybe they were, but when it took that long, just for, it was like 30 minutes just for Last of Us, and that's all they showed, 30 minutes pretty much. I'm like, that would take way too long to try to get in a different room for every game. And it's just like, I don't know, that was kind of cringy for that part. And a lot of people are like, this is not good flow whatsoever to have that going on in the show. So I don't know why they decided to do that, I guess, to be different, but I don't know. I can see them, though, maybe trying to spread out, you know, multiple times. I know a lot of people wish Xbox would do that. You know, everyone's like, E3 is the big show, and now that we got Inside Xbox, but they were kind of hoping, you know, have another, like Gamescom was it for 1 year. I mean, I could see, you know, Sony just kind of wanting to spread out a little bit, but I think it just depends. I mean, I don't know if they're like really, yeah.
It feels like they're hoping that everyone's gonna be so engulfed and mesmerized with the Last of Us footage that they really care. They're being put in a shack for like 10, 15 minutes, but that obviously backfired for them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The intermission afterwards, I was so close to turning off the stream and going to bed and just catching the highlights tomorrow. But like, no, I'm gonna stick through this and watch it and hopefully see if they'll pull back from it. Spoilers, they never did for me. Like, what was the next thing they showed? Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know what's up with Sony, but these little musical segments they have in the beginning.
Yeah, it's painful.
Cut that mess out.
I know.
I'm not here for
yeah,
I'm not here for a concert. I'm here to see the games.
Exactly.
Like, no.
I think I mentioned pre-show. Like, to me, that, like, if you're going to do something like that, like when Ori was revealed last year at Xbox's conference, I think that was cool because you had the composer does the music out there playing the piano live while showing.
I prefer that way much more than doing it before. Then like, here you go, hear the same music again. Like, what? No. Like,
yeah, and Ubisoft I think did that too for a game. I forgot what it was, but yeah, that's just cool. But not just a little mini concert of one instrument and then going. I mean, it's just kind of like you're just sitting there like, okay, I'm listening to this. What the heck? At least make it more immersive. And I think having a gameplay trailer with that would have worked. But.
Yeah, exactly. That definitely landed better with everybody. After they showed Ghost of Tsushima, this is probably just me, but as far as like animations, they seem very finicky.
It seemed a little wooden to me.
Yeah, like this is probably sad, but it reminded me of Robot Chicken, well, how janky it looks at certain moments. Like he would attack him, he would like pop back in position, like almost a natural movement. I'm like, what the hell is this? But that game like, needs more time in the oven, pretty much. Graphically, it looks gorgeous. You know, the foliage or everything, the leaves, the grass is blowing in the wind, everything looks amazing. There seems to be like a cool traversal system going on in the game, with a slingshot and whatnot. That seems pretty cool. It reminds me of like what was it, Assassin's Creed Syndicate a little bit, with the rope launcher a little bit they had in the game. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm not sold on it yet. I need to see more from it. The next game they showed, what was it? I think it was third party. I remember seeing Control.
Yeah, Control.
That looks amazing. I like Remedy games. I want to see what they do next with that. Yeah, we all know it's Quantum Break 2, so we're all gonna love it anyway.
But, yeah, the character even looks a little like Beth from Quantum Break.
Yes, that's the funny thing about it. I think they showed what was the show? Did they show Resident Evil 2 after that?
Yeah, Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 looks amazing. Jago want us to talk about that, so please go off on that if you can, real quick.
I remember I don't remember seeing on the show, but I remember seeing on Twitter. They show a footage of like, I think it was a scene where Leon discovers like a man that's like maimed and is like mutilated. And like the attention to detail, the gore of his face, like just severed from like the jaw back. Like I've never seen gore that detail. I almost vomited right there when I saw that mess. Like, good God, they put so much detail into this. This game's gonna be amazing. Like the gore in the game's like I'm sorry guys, it surpassed Gears. Like the gore, it passed Gears in that point. So I'm really looking forward to that game. The next game they showed, what was it?
Trevor Saves the Universe, the VR game, but
yeah, skipping right past that. Don't care about that trash. I think was Spider-Man they showed. I think they showed a little bit of Dreams.
Yeah, they showed Kingdom Hearts 3. After that, a different trailer.
Neo 2 was also announced.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Oh, I completely forgot about the game. But Neo 2, the game released last year, right? And they're already talking about a sequel now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is that.
Well, wasn't that game in production for like 7 to 10 years? Am I
like
wrong about
years? That? I heard something like that.
Yeah. So that's really bizarre to me.
So that's why they're announcing it now, man.
Yeah. The turnaround for me just caught me off guard. They announced that quick. But the next game they showed was Death Stranding. that's the first game I've ever seen in a stage that I just lost all interest in it. Like, I don't even care about it at this point.
You know what? I actually talked to a few people that were there at the show, and I was feeling this, and I was unsure of like how to broach the topic. But several people said that they actually came away from watching Sony's show and feeling a little less hyped for everything they have coming. So that's kind of my feeling as well. I don't feel excited about anything now.
They showed weird footage. They picked weird stuff to show.
Exactly. Like I gave Kojima like 2 other chances before. I was like, if you don't show a Napper, I'm done. And what I got, ass cheeks and throat, man. I'm done with this dude. Like,
there was a lot of walking though. You gotta enjoy that.
Exactly, man. Like the gameplay they showed me, except for Spider-Man, it just didn't win me over. I need to see more. Death Stranding, I can care less about. And so finally they showed Spider-Man. And yes, I know people are worried it seems like very hand-holdy. But my theory with that, like the segment they showed was like a more linear segment of the game. I'm pretty sure it's the beginning as well. Because it'll push up to the world, right? He's going to the raft. There's a big prison break. Showing some of the villains going to be fighting throughout the story of it. So of course, it's going to be a little more linear with it and whatnot. But I think I'm pretty sure there will be a good portion of hand holding and cinematics, like sequences in Spider-Man where it just takes over from you and starts doing its own thing. But like, I have high hopes for this game. It's made by Insomniac. They're a very talented studio. They did great work in the past. This looks like an evolution of the traversal system they did in Sunset Overdrive. So yeah, I have faith in them as well. And that's pretty much all I remember from their show. Let's see if I want to chime in. But overall, it just very lackluster. It's like a big male figure to their fan base. They don't even care. I'm pretty people are saying they're like trying to focus on next gen right now. I'm saying you can do that, but also give a decent show at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, here's the scary thing though. All right, before you go, Easy. They are comfortable. Sony is very comfortable with announcing things that are very far out. Yes. And they didn't do that. So what does that mean for the next 3 to 4 years if they're not even announcing the things that we've come accustomed to seeing ahead of schedule?
If there's anything even on the radar, we would have heard about it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think I remember, I forgot which president came out and said they're going to try to cut back on announcing stuff too early. I think he said in one of those interviews. So this could be. I forgot. It's one of execs from Sony. I can't remember his name.
Was that Jim guy? Was it?
No, I don't think it was him. It was one of them. I can't remember. I have to find the interview so I can show you to make sure I'm not being crazy right now. But one of them said they kind of learn from that, showing stuff too early. So they're going to try to cut back on this. This could be what they're referring to, just cutting back on show stuff too early, even though with those games got no release dates and some we already seen before. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, they got to show something.
I hear you. But yeah, I guess I can go next. Just has some notes here, but yeah, I think in general for most people, I don't know, not to say for most people, at least for me, it might be the most disappointing conference. It's just, I think for a few reasons. Of course, one, like, I don't know what, the presentation was really weird. It's just like, I don't know why, they tried to do something different, but yeah, the whole being in the tent and doing different things and it's just like pretty much showing one game essentially for 30-minute period was like, okay, that didn't work out so well. But I think just when they pretty much before they even the whole show said, hey, these are the games we're going to show. This is what's going to happen. So pretty much just laying all out what they're going to do, kind of ruined really any hype factor that people have because you're like knowing exactly what's going to happen. So you're like, okay, this stuff we've seen. But I was like, okay, I'm interested in seeing the gameplay at least. And we're, like I was saying before, a lot of people just depends. I mean, Last of Us 2, of course, we know that's going to be a huge game. People love the first game. That's already going to be great. So I didn't really have to see much about that. I'm like, yeah, it's about what the first one is. It's just beautiful. It looks amazing. It's going to be, that kind of gameplay. I think people are going to expect a great story because it's Naughty Dog. It's incredible. But, I mean, kind of you see that, but then just, with the whole stoppage and intermission kind of ruined it. But then I know when Ghost of Tsushima, that was one of the ones, that and Death Stranding, I was like, those are two I want to see just because I'm curious what they're about. But I want at least, kind of, okay, give them the benefit of the doubt, let them show it to me. And that's kind of when they say, the deep dive. To me, when they say deep dive, I think what Todd Howard did with Fallout is the perfect example of that. And even Nintendo with Smash Brothers, they may even went too deep a dive. But, hey, you got to see detailed and breakdown. Like, I would love, like, oh, this is what this game is about. Kind of show some stuff and made it meaningful. And those are good deep dive. Pretty much all it was just gameplay. It's always just extended gameplay footage of random stuff. So you really don't know what was going on. You just saw gameplay, so you see the game in action, which, hey, that's nice. You can kind of see what it looks like, but you don't really know anything about the game. So I'm like, the deep dive was kind of a bad term for that compared to the other shows we saw. Yeah. But Ghost did look good. I mean, it was a beautiful game. But one thing I thought about, just like actually now looking at this list and think about that, I don't know, maybe I guess the word is fatigue could be a word for those kind of games, because it's just like, you know how we always talk about, you know, going into the movie universe like DC. You know, DC has that mantra of being mature and dark kind of thing. That's what a lot of Sony, you know, for the first party games are. They like to follow. They're not all the same, but they have a similar third person action adventure, kind of more dark, brooding kind of game. You know, that fits with them. But maybe I guess we see so much of that where we see that a lot, even though a great game like Last of Us 2, people may feel like, okay, we've seen this kind of game before. And Ghost, the same thing. I mean, I think that I'm going to pick it up. I think it'll be great, but I'd like to see more about it. But I think, and that's another negative I had, is like all these big games, besides Spider-Man, all the first party had no release date or even release year. So again, you go in here like, while I felt like Nintendo, I kind of gave it a good rating, was, oh, at least we saw release dates for all of them. They're this year, so it's pretty good. But you got the big games for Sony. I'm kind of like, even if I were hyped for them, I'm like, there's no reason to be hyped for them yet, because God knows it could come out next year, but it could come out the year after. You don't know. It could come out later. And what if like all those games didn't come out until after E3 next year? They can show the exact same stuff next year for E3, just show the same games. So you're just like, oh no, Ghost to me though, that's what I'm interested in. But yeah, the multiplayer like Control and Resident Evil 2 remake, I think those are like the really
that was awesome.
People love that.
That's the thing. The things that got me excited were the 2 multiplats that they just happened to show.
Yeah, and Control, that's what, and I think, you know, of course they showed it there because, hey, it's Remedy game that's usually associated with the Microsoft. So I think that was kind of Sony's way, like, hey, we got the game that usually is Xbox exclusive. So I mean, that's smart on them, and that looks interesting to me. So I'm looking forward to getting that. I think that's the 2019. So let's see how that goes. But I was like Remedy, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes from there. But of course, I didn't care for the VR game. Oh, go ahead.
I thought multiplats were bad though. After Microsoft show, I thought we weren't supposed to get multiplats at our E3 shows, but now I guess they're cool again. Like, what's going on? Like,
and 2, I think because they never say exclusive. I know a lot of people were thinking maybe Resident Evil 2 or those are exclusive. They were questioning that until it came out later. Like, no, they're multiplat. But that's kind of a thing. Anything Sony shows, people thought, oh, it's exclusive. They never really questioned that. It seems like, but yeah, I thought those. And I don't know. I can't remember ever a time like Kingdom Hearts 2 when they showed that. It was nice to see a different trailer, but they had an Xbox and PlayStation. Has there been a game I can think of multiplayer where it showed on both stages of the competitors?
I think it has happened.
Yeah. It probably has. I was like, that's interesting. But I was like, okay, neat. And of course, the announcement for them. I know. I thought that was one note. I don't think no one's mentioned, but I was kind of like odd. Like Kingdom Hearts, they had the special edition, but then they have it where you get all the other previous games and that included. I'm like, that would have been perfect for Xbox because the Xbox doesn't have the other games. So you figured it'd be smart for Xbox to have that. You know, be able to play the previous games because they're just going to go in blind playing Kingdom Hearts 3. But it could be like a deal, like the Sony still owns the first 2 or something like that. I don't know how that works, but I thought that, you know, that works out for them. But I think the big negative though, I mean, was Death Stranding because I like with some other people, I was like, okay, I'll give them a shot and watch it again. And I think like many, I was more confused with another. I'm like, I'm getting more confused every time I see this game. I just like zero hype for it, and it's just me and that style of game. It looked kind of like a walking sim. It could be like one of those where you're not a horror kind of game, but kind of like, you have to like sneak around, but you can't, really do much. And I don't know what any of it's about. So, and that could still be like a year or 2 away. So I have to see more about that. But like I said, I really didn't have any hype on that. So that being one of their big exclusives, I like, that's zero interest for me. So really, it was just Ghost, The Last of Us, and then of course Neo 2. They had no date, I don't think, but I like the first game, so I mean that'd be fun. Hopefully, whenever we see more about that, it'll be good. And then of course Spider-Man, that's the big one. And then me, it's almost like kind of a wash because I was already excited about it. We saw it last E3. I've already got a special edition pre-ordered, so I'm kind of just like, okay, let's see more of it. But I didn't need it. It didn't change my mind either way. But yeah, some good games. I mean, I know some games that people probably like, but I think the overall show, is definitely odd. I think one of the big negatives, it could just be it was lacking from other shows. Like I mentioned earlier with Square, it's almost like, why even have a show? Because really half the games Square showed were PS4 exclusives. I'm like, if they put those games, even though how minor they are, those are some decent surprises right here. They could have had that in the PlayStation show and made that a little bit better. If they cut out all the transition stuff, they could have had more in their show. And of course, a lot of people, this is the show, like the conference overall. They were hoping to see the Avengers project, which Square didn't show. I think that was like the big downfall, like Square, why I didn't like that. But then people thought, well, maybe Sony will show that. Didn't see that. Didn't see any about the Rocksteady Superman game or any of that. And then, I mean, it's just, I guess that's nothing really to do with Sony, but I know a lot of people hope maybe they'll get And another, like, it's a funny third party. I mean, people want to bash that with Xbox. They showed so much of that, but people were hoping for more of that from Sony for the games they haven't seen yet. They were just a last ditch effort, I guess. Hey, we'll see the Avengers game or something. So I think that was a big downer that most people were hyped for those games and didn't see anything. So if Sony would have had a lot of those, it would definitely been a better show. But yeah, I think just overall kind of a disappointing show for me. Just the flow. It definitely got a little bit better after all that random crap at the start where they just are in the theater doing it. But yeah, it's
think about last year for a moment. So last year they had, it was like a 52-minute, 55-minute, right in that range show for their presentation. And this one was a little longer, but if you take away the intermission, the way they did some of those trailers, the musical performances, there was a guy with a flute. There's a guy playing, the guy that did the music for, what was it, The Last of Us? He was playing the guitar.
Yeah, the banjo, yeah.
It seems like they really are just shortening everything as far as what we're seeing from games. So I wonder, you guys tell me what you think, next year, what are they going to do? Are they even going to have a presentation? Because they're not even in the big part of the where they usually do their usual E3 shows. Their briefings, they've taken it out of there. Essentially, they're in a smaller area now.
Well, that's
are they
what
even going to be able to?
You've predicted this for a while that like their E3 is going to just get smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just irrelevant. And it seems like PlayStation is trying to push that like immediately. They're trying to take the buzz away. They did their announcements the week leading up to it. Like they made it where E3 was not a big deal at all. PlayStation barely showed up. And you can see that's intentional. So it's like how many years before like nobody's going or doing anything?
Yeah, I'm not even trying to be ironic. Like, are we worried about that? What were you going to say, Easy?
I was just saying they could do like Nintendo did. I mean, almost like those deep dives, so to speak. They said just show those gameplay trailers and then have like the little announcements and just make like a quicker show and then fine. Instead of all the random, immersions, just how Nintendo doing. I could see them doing that eventually where they don't even have a live show. They're just like, hey, here's our stuff, and have Sean Layton announcing stuff and then just kind of do that. I mean, I don't know what because I mean, Days Gone is supposed to come out early next year. Spider-Man, of course, is coming out soon. So I mean, I have a feeling those big games they showed aren't coming. So I mean, they may show the exact same 3 games again next E3, maybe another new game. I don't know, but it's just like I don't know. Unless they have another second party deal like Spider-Man in the works, or
probably what they'll do again because like this year coming up, they had what was it? They had God of War, then Detroit, kind of close together for like a month or so apart. Yeah, we already know Spider-Man's coming right now. We know Days Gone's in February, so I'm pretty sure they're going to announce one of those, maybe 2 of them. They'll come like shortly after Days Gone because Days Gone's probably in February. If Last of Us 2 is even ready, probably like March or April. And probably another one, maybe a smaller game in like May or June, probably.
Yeah. And they could farewell drop. It's just if you don't even have a release year, I thought, even when God of War, they said, the year. I'm like, okay, then you get closer to it. But I'm like, figure these are anywhere closer. I did see some people mention, man, these games look next gen. I was sitting there thinking, probably because they are. It could be. That's the rumor that some of those like could end up being really next gen, but that's why they have a date because they haven't released PS5 date. And it could be once all that happens. You never know. That's what we'll end up seeing next year as E3 comes around if PS5 gets announced. And then you may see, who knows, Ghost or Death Stranding or one of them may end up being like, that's when they'll drop. They're kind of holding back. I know I've seen some people say that's what Sony's kind of learned. They're not really giving release dates. So they're just kind of like, it's in the works, and then when they're ready, they'll end up dropping it. So, because you'll have like the Final Fantasy VII remake situation, which I forgot. That was another one I was like, some people thought they would see.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
You have that was it 2 years in development, and then they had to pretty much scrap it and start over because it didn't work well. And then there was like, it could be years away. I'm like, yeah, and that was like, what, 1 E3, so to speak, years ago. People got so hyped when they showed Final Fantasy VII remake, and then here we are now. And they had Dreams, too. I mean, I know they showed a little bit of that during the show, just like, the end of the transitions, but I'm like, they didn't even say anything about the actual game. Like, it's just like, this is made with Dreams, but I'm like, no release date or no actual, thing of that. So, I mean, I don't know.
This is probably mean of me to say this, but I'm just going to say it. Dreams should stay a dream. I don't know why they made that game.
Yeah.
I have a little interest in like those kind of games. You like make your own. It's not necessarily make your own phone. You like make your own world. Like it's like a Mario Maker game, pretty much. You design everything, how it's supposed to play and whatnot. I'm a gamer. I'm not a developer. I don't want to make this shit. I want to play it. But that's me.
No, that's good. Anybody want to say anything else about Sony's conference? We did end up running long like we always do.
Oh, yeah. So much to discuss, though.
Yeah. Yeah, there still is definitely left stuff to do. We'll put some videos out here pretty soon, Moxie and I, talking about some of the other things that that we may have heard, found out about. Try to do some more predictions like we have. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a good show. Jay, do you want to say anything before you go? Thank you again for the awesome production, for the awesome intro that you did. That is amazing intro. We're probably going to use that on our other videos and replace the other one that you did that was really great.
Don't praise me now until you watch the replay and make sure that everything sounded good and looked good, because it all sounds great when we're all live and we all think everything's perfect, but then I have this bad habit of going back and watching videos again and then picking apart everything. So
that's why I don't watch our videos after we make them.
Yep.
Well, I wish I could do what you're doing. Believe me.
Well, that is pretty.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to say, especially about Sony's conference, except for this.
Well put.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a Sony guy, so it meant nothing to me. I fast forwarded through most of it. I watched a little bit of Spider-Man. That's about it.
I'm not trying to be dramatic at all when I say that it has me just a little bit worried that a lot of the publishers have scaled back, and then Sony is also scaling back. But there is, there's some saving grace in Microsoft being that one company that's really still pushing it and really firing on all cylinders like they did this year. They pretty much, I think it's pretty obvious. You've seen the polls on Twitter and elsewhere that they pretty much won. And, when you get 50% of the vote on something like that or higher, I've seen some that were much higher than that. And you have the knowledge that Sony has double the amount of consoles out there, supposedly double in homes. That really says something, that even people that have that console instead of an Xbox are also voting and say that Microsoft kind of won E3 there. So that will pretty much do it for the show tonight, post E3 show. Thank you all again so much. Like I said, you guys got me pretty hyped about all the games coming, and I can't wait for so many of these that are coming out between now and February, pretty much when pretty much almost everything that got a date was shown. It was a great show all around. It was exciting to be there. Yep. I'm still kind of getting over having gotten off the jet just a few hours earlier. So trying to recover myself and get back in the groove of things. And that's pretty much it for the show. Thanks again, Jay. Thanks again, Easy, Operation, Moxie. Great show as always. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks.
Thanks for coming.